conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I just finished my workout. I'm still steaming. I'm still sweating, but we are here. Stacked show today for everybody as my glasses continue to steam up from the heat that I am emitting from my furious workout. It wasn't. I'm recovering from surgery, so it was a very gentle one, but even still got the heart rate up a little bit on the Peloton. We got a stacked show, though, today. We have the welterweight champion of the world, Belal Muhammad, joining the show. We also have Saturday night's main event, the victorious Sean Brady. What a performance he had against Gilbert Burns. We've also got Cody Durden joining the show later. Cody Durden choked our match now. I went in the cage to interview him, right? And he was all hyped up. You know, he just got a second round stop. He's like, rah! And he runs up to me. He's like, bro, I took this fight on 4 days' notice. 4 days' notice. I took it on Tuesday. Monday, I was wasted. I was out of my mind. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's hilarious. I've never really spoken to him that much. I'm like, Cody, you got to jump on the podcast and tell that story, bro. He said, 100%. Let's do it. So we got Cody joining later. And then also we have quite possibly the next bantamweight champion of the world in Kayla Harrison joining the show as well. She's got a big fight going down on a pay-per-view in Salt Lake City. But Harrington, how the hell are you, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing absolutely incredible. I think it's a little inspiring, right? You're working out against doctor's orders. You've been told to take it easy. You're hitting the Peloton.
Don't make a big deal of it, because if anything goes wrong, they're going to see this, and I'm going to get in all kinds of trouble. No, I'm just taking it easy. I'm not doing anything that strains the neck. But anyway, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the world of mixed martial arts and all the action that goes on in it. The Sphere this weekend as well. We'll talk about that Thursday show. We've got, who we got Thursday? We've got Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who just retired. Unbelievable career. We'll touch on him in a second. We've also got the one, the only, the hilarious Renato Lavanja. That's Thursday. Anyway, so let's talk about these fights real quick. Or should we talk about Demetrius Johnson? The fights. I want to talk about this. Co-main event. We'll save the main event talk for when Sean Brady joins us. But Natalia Silva versus Jessica Andrade. I'm telling you right now, this weekend at the Sphere, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso, as we know. I think the next person to challenge for the belt versus the winner will be Natalia Silva. She's on a 6-fight win streak Saturday night against Andrade, a former champion. She looked phenomenal. What a performance. So fast, so quick. I mean, those side kicks from real close range. That's what makes it so hard. When you're throwing side kicks, you need range. You need a little bit of distance. Of course, you know, she's young, she's limber, she's a female, she's a little bit more agile, you know, but she got that leg up, smacking her in the face, front kicks to the face, nasty, nasty shots. I mean, Jessica Andrade is as tough as they come. She made it entertaining. She went forward, smacked her around a little bit, but Natalia Silva showed she's tough, showed she's got a chin, and she showed that she belongs. And I'm telling you, everyone in the Apex, they were losing their mind. What a performance that was.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely magnificent. The striking, the angling, right? Like just the footwork that she had. Anytime Andrade's trying to rush forward and you know, get her up against the fence, that's the last place you want to be, because side kicks coming at you, then she's stepping out 1-2. Just super quick, dynamic. I mean, the women's flyweight division right now is about as stacked as we've seen a female division since, I don't know, probably Amanda Nunes was fighting Miesha Tate for the title.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with that win, she probably is next in line. Who knows? I'm not looking at the rankings. So well done to her. Unbelievable. Steve Garcia was on before that against Kyle Nelson. Holy shit. Steve Garcia, when we spoke to him last week, he's now on a 5-fight win streak, by the way. And most of them in the very, very first round. Unbelievable guy. He kind of flies under the radar. He's not like a massive name. Trains down at Albuquerque at Greg Jackson's gym with John Jones. And, you know, we know back in the day that was a legendary fight camp. A few people have moved on with their careers and stuff, but they've produced incredible talent. And Steve Garcia is one of them. I'm telling you. And what a guy, because he took this one on not a short notice. His last fight, which I think was Atlantic City, he had a holiday booked. They called him and he was going to go on holiday. They called him a few days after the fight because he got a first-round stoppage. Said, do you want to fight again? So he put his vacation on hold. And this time he said, that's it. I'm going fishing. I'm going on the lake, taking some time out. He said, I feel like the last 15 weeks of my life, I've been nothing but getting myself exhausted and beating the hell out of my body. So Steve Garcia, that man is violent. And Kyle Nelson, he's not an easy man to do that to. Kyle Nelson was on a good little streak as well. Went out there, first round, 3 minutes 59. And it's just calculated, wild aggression. I'm telling you, keep an eye on the name Steve Garcia.
Yeah, I know his coaches told him, that's it. You got a month out of the gym. You're not allowed to set foot in the gym for the next month because he has been pushing pedal to the metal, and it shows on fight day. This is like Tom Aspinall levels with the 3 minutes into the first round, 2 minutes into the first round, 40 seconds into the second round. Like his cage time is super low over this 5-fight KO streak. As you said, it's incredible.
No, it really is. It really is. And we've got to talk about this one as well. This was one of the slickest performances. I'm kind of tempted to get him on the podcast at some point. Chris Padilla, last fight on the prelims, went up against Rong Zhu. You probably all saw this one, but I want to talk about it because it was, the man has a very, very analytical mind. He's still quite young in his UFC career, or MMA career, should I say. But he's very smart. He's very analytical. And I thought maybe, you're just reading too much into it because you got to remember at the end of the day, it is a fight. So whilst you can look at your opponents, you can break things down, you can see habits and tendencies and recognize patterns. You've also got to be able to act on the fly. But at the fighting meetings, he was just going on like, I've seen this, I've seen that, I've watched this tape. And I was like, I wonder if he's going to have paralysis by analysis, which is what some people do have. Well, I tell you what, he looked bloody good because Rong Zhu, you might not be familiar, he's a very, very good fighter. He was taking his time, he was waiting, parried a jab, boom, placed the lead elbow perfectly. I'm telling you. And then straight away his opponent's like, got me in the eye. It was not an eye poke. It was an elbow. It was timed perfect. That was unbelievable. I know he's pissed off because he didn't get a bonus. There was a lot of stoppages. Did he not get a bonus? Did he get a bonus?
No, he didn't actually. You're right. Steve Garcia and Cody Durden were the only two guys to get bonuses. It was Silva and Andrade fight of the night.
Yeah. I mean,
good
listen,
point.
It is what it is. It's a shame he was kind of annoyed, but not everyone gets one. It was a great stoppage. It was perfectly timed. I think he's making a lot of headlines. We're talking about him right now. Bright things to come for him. But Rong Zhu, that's the thing. Straight away, everyone just goes, eye poke. So no, bro, you just got hit in the face. I mean, fair play, for trying to survive or whatever. And then the doctor walked in. I mean, the thing swelled up crazy straight away. And the doctor walked in and was like, this is done. This is done. Unbelievable performance. What else did we have on there? Any other signature ones? There's one more, I think, that I wanted to talk about. What about you, Harrington?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking here. I mean, Dulgarian getting it done as a crazy, I think he was the biggest favorite in UFC history or something like that. Yeah. And I mean, this is a guy who coming into that second round, you didn't know what the gas tank was going to look like. He kept the aggression up, got the triangle choke. I really enjoyed that performance. Yeah.
Anyway, right. So we'll talk to Sean Brady. We'll speak to Cody Durden later as I continue to again mop down my glasses. The condom bloody station. My God, it's crazy. Rebecca needs to turn the AC up or down. We have that every single time, by the way. I say, can you turn the AC up a bit? And what I mean is make it colder, make it more powerful. And she makes it bloody hotter. I'm like, right. So if I say down, I mean temperature. If I say up, I mean temperature up. It means I'm cold. I'm never going to say that. We mentioned Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson before. So he's retired, finally called it a day after just an absolutely epic career. I mean, Mighty Mouse, what a guy. He's just unbelievable. He really is. I saw a post going around social media, and it's so true. He said, if you're looking for a role model from mixed martial arts, you can't go much better than Demetrius Johnson. I mean, the guy was never in any controversy, no drug testing scandals, just no nastiness, just always cool, lived by the martial arts code, went out there for a little guy, was a finishing machine, unbelievable submissions, defended the belt 12 times. I think it was something like that. 13 consecutive title fights, beat legends like Henry Cejudo, just an unbelievable career. Craziest trade ever with Ben Askren. Went off to ONE FC. Did some good things there as well, So unreal. So he's going to join the show on Thursday, but just had to pay homage to him and just say, just an unbelievable, really is an unbelievable career. And what a guy as well. I always tell this story. Never had any beef with his opponents. When I fought, I forget who it was, Brian Stan. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh, yeah. I was going to bring it up if you didn't.
Yeah, he was fighting Joseph Benavidez, and we went, Coldplay were in town. UFC got us tickets. I went with a training partner. He's there with his opponent. You know what I mean? I looked around, and there's Demetrius and Joseph Benavidez, who were going to throw down in a few days at the Coldplay concert together. You know, if that is not the epitome of keeping it professional, I don't know what is.
Maybe, but that might have been part of his thing, little Mr. Nice Guy. They say Bill Russell used to do that to Wilt Chamberlain. When Bill Russell and the Celtics would come to Philadelphia, he'd stay at Wilt Chamberlain's house, and Wilt, being the nice guy he was, would let Bill Russell sleep in the bed. He'd sleep on the couch, and you wouldn't, of course, he's now a 7-foot guy sleeping on a couch. He'd get dominated on the basketball court later that day. Maybe that was DJ just being like, arm around you, buddy. We're friends at the Coldplay concert, not seeing the beating that was going to come to him a day later.
So are you saying he is a closeted, mean, nasty son of a bitch? He's got a mean streak in him, that's for sure. He doesn't mind beating people up. He's very, very good at it, But and that's the crazy thing, is like George St. Pierre is another one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Very clean cut. Never any controversy. The type of guy that you'd want to. He's like the type of guy, if back in the day when UFC were trying to get, recognition and be in the mainstream, George St. Pierre's, Demetrius Johnson, these are the guys you wanted. You didn't want Sean Strickland. I mean, if this was like 2003, could you imagine Sean Strickland? Who else are some of the, Khamzat Chimaev? Who else are some of the more controversial guys right now?
Bryce Mitchell. Get Bryce Mitchell on a microphone in 2003.
Imagine trying to build a sport. Well, now, if the UFC just started, and you got Bryce Mitchell, Sean Strickland, and who did I just say? I said someone else. Oh, and Khamzat, yeah, geez. I saw Darren Till and Khamzat having a little Twitter Spaces last night. It's a lot of fun. Darren Till's out of his goddamn mind. Khamzat's out of his mind. Actually, talking to that real quick, go on, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, did you see that he unleashed the reason that Khamzat keeps missing weight is that he spends time with Darren Till, who can't stop eating chocolate around him, and it sucks him in.
I did see that, and I've got to say, I have knowledge on the inside that I heard it's Khamzat with the chocolate bars, okay? And this is not a big deal, so I don't give a shit. But I know for a fact, right, that they said Khamzat was trying to make weight, and they went to his top drawer, and they opened it up in his bedroom, and it was just full Snickers, Twixies, you name it, every kind of chocolate bar known to man. And they were like, no man alive should be eating this amount of chocolate when you're trying to make weight. So it's hilarious that he's talking shit on Darren Till, because I've heard it on good authority, and Darren Till's name was not in the conversation. He wasn't even there. Khamzat loves a chocolate bar. So do I. Who gives a damn, unless you're making weight. Oh, dear. What's the big news in mixed martial arts? Obviously, we've got the Sphere this weekend just while we wait for the one and only Belal Muhammad.
I got one. Robert Whitaker's manager says that his fighter was offered the Sean Strickland fight for the Perth card. Robert Whitaker quickly agreed, and Sean Strickland apparently said, absolutely not. I'm not fighting him in Perth.
Yeah, I was maybe going to mention that. And we know why. And it's interesting because Rob just said if he beats Khamzat, he's definitely fighting for the belt next as well, which he might do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's next. Sean Strickland might be next, and then Rob might pull a Sean Strickland because Sean's sitting on the sidelines. Dana said it at the press conference, So I know it's good of Rob. I understand what he's doing, saying, he turned me down. I don't think Sean turned it down necessarily because he's scared or a bad matchup or anything like that. He's turned it down because he's like, bro, I'm fighting for the belt. Simple as that. I'm not entertaining anybody. Hey, and it worked out. I was saying a while ago with Anthony, I was like, a lot of the time that doesn't play out the way you expect it to, but in that situation it did. So anyway, as I said, before Belal jumps on, it is the Sphere this weekend. I'm excited for it. And I got an offer to watch it somewhere fancy. And I was like, no, I want to watch this at home. I really do. I could have gone to Vegas and got tickets and watched it and all the rest of it. I've got some friends going, but I'm on the road all the time. I just got back from Vegas. I'll be in Vegas again Tuesday. I'm like, I'm sitting at home and I want to watch this experience because $20 million spent on production. right? You know they're going to incorporate some of that into the visual experience for the people at home. It is a pay-per-view product. I'm excited for that. And the main event, unbelievable stuff. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I saw Dana White talking to Shannon Sharp today. He said it's going to be a full-blown movie with different chapters, eras of obviously the Mexican fighting spirit dating back from the dawn of time to fighting in space. I mean, dude, did you see those production stills of Dana White just walking around at the Sphere, seeing what it looks like? I'm on the edge of my seat for this. I want to know how they pull this off. And even Dana seems to be like, look, I don't know how this is going to work, but we are definitely being ambitious and trying something. So God bless you for the worldwide leader.
And that's why they brought in all these Oscar-winning directors or Emmy-nominated people and all the rest of it. And I see people out there going, what the hell's going on? You don't need all that stuff. It's a television product. It's a television product. At the end of the day, you want the best people in place to give you the best product. That's why the UFC is so enjoyable. Yeah, the fights are phenomenal, but the way that it's always wrapped up, put together, the production values, obviously being behind the scenes and knowing how all this works, the amount of effort that goes into all of this to give the product that we see at home, you take it for granted. You think it's really easy. There is a team of so many people. Unbelievable. Anyway, can't wait for that. We'll talk about that more on Thursday, but I do think Belal should be jumping on right now. We got the welterweight champion of the world on. How are you, Belal?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. Great to talk to you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. We got a lot to talk about. You are the champion of the world, as I said. That was I think it shocked everyone. Probably not you, but I don't think anyone expected you to go out there and let's be honest, manhandle Leon. I certainly didn't. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Given the first fight, I thought, shit, it's a tough night for Belal. But you believed in yourself. You said it all week. You were exuding confidence. And when it came to showtime, man, it was undeniable.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nose where a lot of people were surprised, right? But I think me and my team, the ones that are in the gym with me, they know what we're capable of doing. So it wasn't a surprise to us. And same mindset with you, right? Nobody believed that you could do it to Rockhold, right? It was short notice, but your team did. You believed it. You thought you could. And for myself, I had to live with it for 3 years of that first fight with Leon Edwards, of everybody saying, oh, this fight's going to be easy. He's going to walk through you. You didn't belong in there with him. The rest of the rounds would have went like that. And it did nothing but motivate me. It pushed me. And it just made me more so, instead of winning the belt, proving that I'm better than him. So when people ask me, how does it feel to be the champion? I was like, it felt better to beat Leon more than winning the belt, because that was my goal. My goal wasn't to, let me raise the belt. I wonder how that's going to feel. I wanted to know how this feels. I want to know how me beating Leon was going to feel, because I worked so hard for that. And I knew what I was capable of doing. And I knew that I was better than I showed on that night. So to be able to do that, to prove myself right and to prove my coaches right and to show us that we were doing the right stuff. I am in the right spot. We are a small team, but we have a real champion now. And that means more to me than anything.
I resonate with that so much, because I understand completely what you say for the reasons that you said. It's about, of course, we all want to be the champ, and that's fantastic. Of course, we want to be the champ. But also you want to go out there and you want to shut the doubters up. Anyone that's talking shit online and all the rest of it, to go out there to shut everyone up, even so-called analysts, people like me, everyone, to go out there, put them in the place. And more importantly, the opponent, because Leon, Leon's a great guy, but he was very sure and kind of dismissive of the threat that you possessed. So I'm assuming that side of it as well for you personally was a big thing.
Oh, yeah, especially him and his team, right? His coaches, they were talking trash. And Leon's not really a big talker, right? But the fact that he was brushing it off like I wasn't worth his time. I'm sitting there on a 10-fight winning streak, and he's saying that, I don't deserve the title shot. And for myself to sit there and watch this guy who went through the same process that I went through, the same path and the long road to the title shot, and then for you to tell me that my resume is not good enough to fight you, that tell me that he's not worth my time, it's going to be an easy fight. That did nothing but push me to go harder in the gym. Every day in the gym, I'm listening to his walkout music. I want to hear it because I want to feel like what it's going to feel like in the cage. I want to feel the boos, right? I want to feel I'm going to Manchester. I want to feel that crowd that hates me, that wants to sit there and tell me that I'm going to lose this fight, that thinking of the people that are going to laugh if I lose this fight. I thought about all of that, and I wasn't afraid of it. I was afraid of not going in there and performing to what I'm capable of doing, like the first fight, how it ended after one round. That's what I was afraid of most, that, hey, what if I get caught with something and that happens? Because anybody can get caught, right? And it can happen to anybody. There's so many ways to lose a fight. So for me, it was just like, I'm not afraid of the boos. I'm not afraid of the enemy territory. I'm not afraid of the chatter. I'm afraid of going in there and not doing what I know I'm capable of doing. So that's why I wanted to stay calm all week. I wanted to stay confident all week. My team, my family, everybody that was with me, we just had the perfect vibes, because you could go into fight week, right? And one person could throw off your whole fight week. If there's any animosity or any, somebody being negative or something like that, it could just throw off the whole energy. But the energy felt great all week. The people felt great all week. And the fight day was like the perfect day for me.
Just one last thing, because it seems like I'm giving you an opportunity to rip on Leon, but when we had the fighter meetings, because you were very emotional, it's like it seemed like you hated Leon. And when I asked you about that at the fighter meetings, you explained it perfectly, and you just kind of touched on it there, because what was it, 10 fights in a row, something like that, undefeated. Leon took the same path, and you thought that if anyone should understand the position you're in, it should be him, and he didn't, and that kind of got to you, right?
Oh yeah, it got to me. It pissed me off, and that's why even now, where I hate to even bring up fights when I beat a fighter, right? Like I never want to kick a man when he's down, but Leon, I'll kick when he's down. I don't care. I'm gonna make it fun of him when he's down, because they like I said, they said I wasn't worth it. They said that I'm gonna walk through him. They said it was gonna be easy, and for me to go out there and beat him the way he did, and now for him to go, ghost, nobody even knows what happened to him. And for his team to come out with little excuses, right? They say, oh, he had a bad back all the time. And Leon to come out and say, oh, I didn't have good sleep. Like, bro, just own up to it. I was better than you. I am better than you. Like, that's the difference between, I think, great fighters and the fighters that fizzle out, is they always come up with excuses for every loss. Tony Ferguson has a reason for every loss that he has right now. I didn't spar in 10 years. Now I'm going to spar. Now I'm going to do this. Like, you're looking for those reasons instead of just saying that, like, he was better than me. I need to fix these weaknesses. And there's not a lot of guys that own up to their losses and own up to, losing to a better guy, because you could always fix what you're weak at, right? But there's a lot of guys that won't do that. They'll come up with excuses. But nowadays, before it bothered me, right? When I would beat Gilbert Burns, all he had one arm. When I would beat Wonderboy, all you did was wrestle. When I beat Maya, all you did was fed takedowns. But now it doesn't bother me anymore, because I got the gold. So all these people that are hating, all these fans that are crying, I got the gold now, so I could do all the talking. And you have to listen, right? Because I'm the man with the mic now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because it's easy for people to come to these to establish these narratives. Sean Brady was an experience. Sean Brady just went out there and beat Gilbert Burns in a bloody fantastic performance. As you said, Gilbert had one arm and all. It's easy for people to come up with these narratives, but you just went and beat Leon, a man that looked like on paper might rule the roost for a long time and all the rest of it. And you beat him fair and square. Not only that, in his own backyard. Speaking of which, another funny thing was you were like, I'm going to be loved in Manchester. And I tell you what, you were loved in Manchester. I saw you. You were rolling what was it, a Lamborghini SUV. You're in a bloody Rolls Royce Phantom. You were like a bloody pop star out there.
Honestly, it was amazing. That was probably the best fight week that I ever had. I was just like, the people over there, they took care of us so much. I wasn't even expecting to have a place to go train, but we had a gym. They opened the doors to us, and we were going over there to train at 4 a.m. in the morning the whole week. So for them, and we had a parade right after the fight. They surprised me.
Dude, I saw it. It was crazy.
Street, and I was like, there's going to be somebody that throws something at me. There had to be a hater there. But they're all cheering, man. It was epic. It was literally like a movie.
Yeah, no, congratulations, Belal. And I truly mean that, because you earned it, man. That's hard work. Simple as that. There's no shortcuts. There's no flukiness. That's just sticking to your guns, working your goddamn ass off and making it a reality. So for that, I got to say congratulations. I think a lot of people can draw a lot of inspiration from that, because people did kind of write you off, which I understand pissed you off. So yeah, just phenomenal. Manchester. What did you think of Manchester? Because, it's a beautiful city. I'm from there. The people are fantastic. The weather and the food. What did you think? Be honest.
Honestly, the weather was great all week because
that's right. It was July.
Yeah, they were telling me it's terrible weather here, and I was like, "Wait, what, bro?" I'm like jogging outside every day. It was so nice. I mean, the press conference was the funniest, right? Because I'm over there, and there's kids in the audience, and I'm giving a fist pound. They're giving me the middle finger, and I was like, "Bro, what's going on here?" But it was funny because everybody, that's Manchester, man. That's what they are over there. But it was cool, right? Because I love that energy. I love to be the bad guy in places because I want to turn them. Like I said, I had a lot of fans there as well, but it felt good to just have that energy. Whether you hate me or you love me, I just want to feel the energy. I don't want to go out there and just that's why I love back and forths. When you have those fights where you're going against a nice guy and there's really, you can't talk trash to a Wonder Boy. You can't talk trash to like a Luke because they're nice guys. They're great fighters, but there's no animosity there. This fight felt good this week because there was animosity. There was going back and forth. I hated Leon. I hated his team. So it made me hate Manchester. Even though Manchester, the energy was great over there. The people were great over there. But I didn't really get to experience the food because I had my nutritionist with me the whole week. My chef, Ian Larios, was with me. So he was with me for 6 weeks. So him going out there. But, yeah, my family, they were with me for my team. We had them bringing us food the whole week. So me watching them eat, they were enjoying it. They said it was great.
Dude.
Yeah, we had
that's the worst, though. We're watching the teammates stuff their faces when you're trying to make weight.
It was, and they were bringing us buffet style stuff. They were like, "Oh, we got burgers, we got chicken, we got rice," and then every night they'll do cheesecake. And I was like, because we had a house away from the hotel, so they would just bring a smorgasbord of stuff every time to the house, and I had to sit there and just watch them all eat it. And I love dessert, so they were bringing cheesecake every night. They were bringing brownies, and I was just like, "Let me just smell it. Let me just look at it."
Well, I say I used to hate that. What I used to do with a good friend of mine, Jacko, I would, the night before the weigh-in, I'd share a room with him and I'd order room service, what I wanted. I'd make him eat it and I'd direct him how to eat it, get a bit of that and put that on the phone. Now talk to me. How does it taste? Just living vicariously through him. Right. Congrats. Anytime somebody becomes the champion, you know what the conversation is. Who, what, when, is next. And I know there's been a lot of discussion. I'm sure you've probably seen it. Shavkat Rakhmonov is out there claiming that you turned him down.
But that's the thing, right? When you got guys now that want to talk, I think for him now claiming and coming out trash talking, it was because me and Usman were just going back and forth talking trash. So I think for him, he was just like, let me get in the picture. Let me get into the mix. Let me say it's him. Let me say it's his manager or somebody tweeting for him. Because I'm like, bro, this guy don't even speak English, but he's coming out here with these highly.
What was that word? Because I saw that word and you said, hold on a minute. That word doesn't exist in Kazakhstan or whatever language they speak. What was the word?
I forgot what it was, but I was like, bro, I know this ain't him writing this. He's going through ChatGPT, how to talk trash to Bully B. But I'm like, bro, it really, to me, obviously, to me, I don't think there's a clear number one contender, right? Because when you look at it, when I look at myself, I had to have a number one contender fight with me and Gilbert Burns. So I had to fight him. They told me, you win this, you're next. He was on a streak. I was on a streak. For Shavkat, he beat Wonder Boy over a year ago, and Wonder Boy was on a 3-fight losing streak at the time. So for you to say, I deserve this title shot next because I'm 18-0, it's like, bro, you didn't have a number one contender fight. Usman's on a 3-fight losing streak. Ian Gary, I think, probably had the toughest win out of all of them, beating MVP, because MVP is a tough puzzle to solve. So for him to win that and be undefeated, it's like that. But I think just the fans and the UFC, I see them looking at Shavkat like that next guy in line. And, I mean, I'm gladly willing to do it, right? Because for me, honestly, I would think that Usman's a tougher fight. Because when I look at Shavkat, I see a lot of holes. And I see many paths to victory. When I look at a fight and I take a fight, I come up with a strategy. And I think of, where's this guy weak at? Let me take him there. Leon,
yeah, no, absolutely.
Not good moving back, let me take him there. So I look at Shavkat and I see a lot of those weaknesses. So I'm like, all right, well, you guys wanted to test it. And that's why I think for the UFC, they don't want to put him against like a Usman for a number one contender fight, because Usman beats him. It's like, we just lost the undefeated guy, new blood, and we just have Usman back in the mix again, who was just the reigning champion for 5 years. So I think they want new blood in general. So I think that's why they would probably want to give me Shavkat next.
Okay. I mean, I understand because he's got the shining record, 18-0, all finishes. It looks beautiful. I guess when you dig a little deeper, though, when you look at the wins, and there's no disrespect to people like Neil Magny or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, they're great guys, tremendous fighters, but they're not the top of the food chain guys like you had to go through and other people have to. So, you know, you can kind of make that narrative there. Harrington, get off the screen. What are you doing? You're ruining the interview. The good news is for you, I'm looking at the rankings right now. You got a lot of choice. You got a lot of people. You know, you got the potential for a tremendous one. You have got Usman, Shavkat, Jack Della Maddalena. There's Covington in there, Ian Machado, Gary. If you could choose, and you are the champion, so you do get a say in this, who do you think you'd go for?
I mean, if I'm thinking, obviously, money plays a big factor in everything. Usman, you probably make the most money with because I think he's the biggest name. And legacy-wise, he was the guy that was the reigning champion for a long time. Dana White said he was better than GSP. So I think legacy, for sure, I would want to fight Usman before he's done. But Shavkat is that guy. I had to beat that Sean Brady, right, who had all the hype, and I took his O from him. So for me beating him, I think that there's no excuses. If I go out there and I fight Usman now, people are going to say, oh, Usman's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's done with. He's old. He's this. He's that. Shavkat's the guy. I beat him. There's really nothing you can say. He's undefeated on 18-0, all finishes. He's young. There's nothing you can say. Even for the Leon, there's excuses after that fight. I don't think Shavkat's the type to come up with excuses if he loses the fight.
Do you think there's any, just to bring it back to Leon, you mentioned him there. Is there any, I mean, what would he have to do to get another fight against you? Because I'm assuming now, not that you're vindictive, but you'd be like, bro, you got to go earn this shit. And I'm English, by the way. I ain't talking crap on Leon, but like as a fighter to fighter, I totally get it because that's what I'd do.
Oh, what, dude? He would have to fight 3 years. He would have to wait 3 years. He'd have to apologize, make a tweet every 3 years, every month, apologizing of why he thought he could beat me, and then I'll give him a shot. But I think if he gets a couple more victories, like you said, there's a lot of guys out there in the division right now that don't have fights. Jack Della is on a big win streak, doesn't have a fight. Ian Machado doesn't have a fight. You have Sean Brady, who just won this weekend dominantly. He's right back in the mix. And I think a lot of those guys are going to have to fight each other just so we start getting clear contenders. Like everybody can't just hold their own. Some of these undefeated guys are going to have to fight each other. I think if I'm matchmaker, I'm looking at Sean Brady versus Usman, and I'm looking at Ian Gary against Leon, and Jack Della. I think he's out, he's injured, but even him against, because he's not even proven himself. He was getting beat by Gilbert Burns until he called Gilbert Burns at the last minute. So I would give him another test, maybe like an MVP. But
yeah, I like that one though. Leon versus Ian Gary. That'd be an interesting stylistic matchup. Just to watch two strikers go at it. Another guy, and I saw you say this, and I get it. I understand, because if he does finally come back and he fights Michael Chandler at 170 pounds, I always said this. I said whether or not anybody likes this, I thought Leon was going to be the champ. We're going to see Leon versus Conor McGregor for the welterweight strap because he's got. He's got the resume, he was the double champ, he's got the stardom and all the rest of it. And you were like, no, you wouldn't take that fight. I'm talking about Conor McGregor, by the way, in case anybody hasn't figured that out.
Honestly, if I'm being I don't even think he fights, but if you're looking at Conor, who he's fought, think about it. His last win is against Donald Cerrone, and that was when Donald Cerrone was on his way out. And it was 4 years ago. And if it took this long for Michael Chandler to get this fight and it's still not even gotten it yet, I'm not going to sit there and wait to maybe fight him. Once you're the champ, right? That's when you make the most money. That's when you get that's when you want to fight the most. So for me, I like to stay active. I did not want to wait over a year to fight Leon Edwards, but it was I had to wait to get that opportunity. Now I'm the one given the opportunities. So I would rather fight because I don't think there's anybody out here that can beat me. So I think that I want to stay active. I want to get on that Alex Pereira schedule of like, let's just go 3 times a year. I'm good with that.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to do that as well. 3 times a year when you're the champ, get that money coming in. I mean, how's life been? What's it been? A month or so? Yeah. I was like, you've been enjoying this ride because it is. You've climbed the mountain. You've done it. You've reached the peak. You're on top of the world. 7 billion people on the planet, and there's only one welterweight champion of the UFC. I mean, what has the last few weeks been like for you?
Honestly, like I miss the regular just being able to go train days, like just to go to the gym and train because it's been like nonstop appearances, do this, do that. And you're everybody's cousin now. Everybody wants to be your family member.
Yeah.
I had to change my phone number.
Everybody wants you on the podcast.
But it's like, I would do that, right? Like these are what I enjoy, not the ones that are, oh, brother, we went to your fight and we were going to support your fight. But it was such a long trip. And I was like, you didn't come to my fight when it was in Indiana down the street, but you said you would have came to my next fight for sure. Like everybody wants to be your family member now. I'm getting random calls. So I had to change the number that I had since high school. But more, for the most part, it's just seeing my dad be able to celebrate it, right? He's showing his friends the belt. People are asking my mom for pictures at, the grocery store. So seeing them get that superstar treatment is a sweet part for me.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And I was going to mention that actually, because I remember, and if I'm getting some facts wrong, what happened years ago? Your dad's got a grocery store and they vandalized it and they trashed it and all the rest of it, right? Was this during the pandemic? Is that correct?
Yeah, during the pandemic, he had a cell phone store. And they, when they had the riots in Chicago, they smashed everything. They burned it down.
Yeah. And then now you are here, champion of the world. I mean, it's amazing. It must make them so proud. Yeah.
And I'm very religious, right? So then I always look back at everything and saying everything happens for a reason. Those things happen for a reason. And my family's the same way, where we don't sit there and, we're not going to sit there and pout and cry over something like that. It's like, all right, well, we got to move on. We got to fix it. We got to do something else. And that was always my mindset with fighting. You lose a fight, all right, so whatever. Get back up, get back to work, get better. We have to fight another guy to get the title shot. It's okay. Take it. Let's fight it. We have to wait a year. Whatever. It's meant to be. Take it. And now looking back at everything that I had to go through, it made me the best version of myself on that date, July 27th. So all the ups and downs for me and my family, now we think back to where we were 3 or 4 years ago. It's like we're blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the perfect attitude, because at the time when you're going through things like that, it's easy to feel sorry for yourself. But now when you look back, the struggle, it's all part of the journey, and it makes it worthwhile, and it makes, achieving what you did so much more worthwhile, and there's so much more satisfaction involved.
Yeah. And bro, like I was talking with Joe Rogan this weekend. I had a detached retina before too.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And just like reading your book, it like tears, it was tearing me up, because I was like, somebody knows what I went through. And you're like, I was going to like the cataract doctor. And you're like,
when did this happen?
This is probably like 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. So I've had 2 detached retinas.
Jesus Christ. That's what happened to me.
It's the worst feeling ever. And I tell people, bro, you don't know how depressing it is to deal with it. And like you said, you go to the eye doctor and there's like old people there and you're like,
yeah,
but I don't belong in here with these guys. Like, what's going on over here? And you don't know if you're going to fight again, and you don't know how it's going to react, or if it's going to happen one more time. And I'm like, if it happens one more time, I'm done. I can't deal with that one more time. But yeah, the whole journey, right? And then all of a sudden we get the belt. So now it's like all that led to this. So it was all worth it in the end.
So hold on. So you detached the retina. They did surgery to repair that.
Yeah.
And then what happened with the second one? The same eye down the line?
The same eye down the line, I ended up getting a cataract in there. And then, so it was like foggy in there. So I was like foggy in there for a while. And that led to another detached retina because of it. Yeah. And it was one of those where you don't want to go to the doctor because, we're fighters. We're like, I don't want to go to the doctor. So like I had a black shade inside of my eye, and I was like, it's all good. Nothing. It's nothing. Maybe I just got poked or something, whatever. And then it was before I was supposed to go with Jared Gordon to Brazil. He was fighting in Brazil, and I was going to corner him down there. And it was like his last sparring. And then like he hit me one more time, and then it went like fully black. And I was like, all right, now I think I should go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And then we went to the doctor. He was like, you got to have surgery right away. We got to put you in. But I did the eye bubble. I didn't do the oil in there.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. For me, it detached twice, and then I got glaucoma though. And the glaucoma is what took the vision, because it just this. Do you know what glaucoma is? Your eye fills with, if you touch your eye, it's wet. So it fills with moisture, but it's always coming out of a drain. In glaucoma, the drain gets blocked, so it continues to fill with the fluid. And then the tension, the pressure gets so high. Because you know what it's like. You go and get your eyeball pressure tested, and it has between 9 and 20. Mine was on like 85. And then by the time they did the surgery, that was it. I never saw it again. So, wow. But it is what it is. It's an old story. We're here to talk about you. Belal, I couldn't be happier for you, man. I truly mean that. It's amazing, because people wrote you off, they talk shit. You know, you always believed in yourself. And it does remind me of my journey a little bit, because everyone said Bisping's out of his mind. What's he doing? What's he talking about? You know, and I saw similar chatter, you know, towards yourself. And you go out there, you get your shot. And you know what? In some ways, getting the first round stoppage or submission would have been beautiful. But you went out there and dominated him for 5 rounds. You know, in some ways, does that feel better?
Yeah, I feel like it cements it more, right? Because people could always say, oh, well, you just knocked him out, you did this. But, like, I beat him in all aspects. I outstruck him. I out-wrestled him. I out-grappled him. And I beat him in every way you can in martial arts. So I just showed in general that I'm more of a complete fighter than him. So to go out there and beat him like that, there's really nothing else. And I think there's no reason for a rematch after that, right? Because even if you do get caught, you can say, oh, let me get the rematch. Or, I deserve it. I earned it, blah, blah, blah. But, like, to get dominated for 5 rounds.
You're the Canelo of the welterweight division, bro. Come on.
People sleep, right? People but I work so hard. People don't understand how hard I work. And I was just talking to Darren Till yesterday on, he was on Spaces.
Dude, I saw it. Him and who was it? Khamzat?
Yeah. But I was out there and he was like, Belal, I'll strike you. And I was like, bro, you had never seen me spar. I'm going to come to Liverpool. We're going to spar. And he's like, I would embarrass you. And I was like, all right, let's go, man. Just to show you guys that I can strike. People sleep on my striking.
Oh, that's hilarious. Listen, Belal, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'm sure you've got a busy schedule. I know you're cornering someone this weekend. Who are you cornering?
Ignacio Bahamondes.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, dude, he spoke so highly about you. And who did I commentate again recently? And they were training with you. And Michael Morales.
Oh, yeah, man. He's a tank.
Yeah, no, he was talking very highly and how he's improved and all the rest of it. So, dude, enjoy the moment. Congratulations. It's incredible. Can't wait for the next fight. And long may the reign continue.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Well, the reality is he put me in my place. And a lot of people, because I said, any questions for Belal Muhammad? There was a few people like tagging him in a video where I said Leon was going to beat him. And I did think that. And I was wrong. He proved me wrong. He proved everyone wrong. He proved Leon wrong. He proved the world wrong, essentially. And that is why I said to him, you've got to respect that. You know, it really was such a mind-blowing performance, because Leon was kind of cruising to a victory, but it was only the second round. And anyway, times change. I mean, he's certainly improved in every way. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Harrington, as much as I love looking at your face, and it is a great face, and it is a nice beard. I see the beard's coming in.
Well, thank you, Manscaped.
Well, piss off, because Sean Brady's here. Get out of here. All right, and there he is, the one, the only, the victorious Sean Brady. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Back. Back in Philly, just doing a couple of interviews. I was just on the other line with Dean Thomas, and it was supposed to be Matt Serra, but he didn't show up, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But nah, it's good. I'm back home with my wife, my dog, my family, just chilling. So yeah, life is good.
Man, listen, Sean, that was a phenomenal performance on Saturday. I think this is the first time we've really had a conversation, but I got to say, I've been a big admirer for a long time. What you bring to the octagon really is something special. But to go out there and to dominate Gilbert, and I say that with respect to Gilbert because
of course,
everyone respects him. He's an absolute legend of a guy and a fighter. But to dominate him the way that you did over 5 rounds, unbelievable, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it was like we talked in the octagon, obviously, it's funny. Someone was saying to me about me resting on you, and I'm like, man, you know better than anybody. 5 rounds in that octagon is completely different than any run we can do, any sparring we can do. It's just completely different. So I was just so proud of myself that I did that against a guy like Gilbert, who has beat the shit out of Tyron Woodley over 5 rounds, beat up all these guys, and he has a great gas tank himself. So for me to stay a step ahead of him was just a feather in my cap. And I'm just proud of myself, proud of my performance, and always just looking to get better. But it was definitely a good one.
Yeah, well, you should be proud. And we'll talk about what's next and everything in just a second. But you mentioned the cardio thing there. Yeah, you are supposed to be tired at the end of 5 rounds. I loved it when you were leaning on me. Like, this looks cool as hell. So talk to me about that, though, because I know you're up there in Philly. I know you're training with Paul Felder. You're riding bikes. Seems like you're pushing yourself to the absolute limit at all times. And I said this on Saturday. Oh, no, I said it on Twitter, I think. It's crazy that you can still maintain the amount of muscle that you have and the power that you have with the amount of cardio that you're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, so Joe Pfeiffer, one of my main training partners, his fight was in, it was International Fight Week. So I was at the PI doing a bunch of testing. I was 193 or 194 when I was out there, and my body fat was 9% at 194. So like, I had like the most muscle, like I'm at like over, they have like a range of muscle mass you're supposed to have in your weight class, and I'm like above it. So like for me to make 170, it's literally all water. So like I go from 190 to 170 in a week. But I do so much conditioning, and this camp I really focused a lot more on doing all my conditioning. Like I do a lot of biking and running, but I tore my like you, and I've heard you talk about how much you love running. I'm obsessed with running, and I think it's one of the best things for your conditioning. But I tore my groin 2 times running, so I only run like 1 or 2 times a week now. But I do everything else on the Echo bike. But realistically, sparring and actual training is where I try to get like everything this camp of just in those rounds, pushing myself to the absolute max in each round. And I kind of felt like the fight was the same way. I wasn't thinking about the 5th round and the 1st round. I was just focusing on 1 round at a time. And like you said, you're going to get tired, but it's having that ability to be able to recover and still, just because you're tired we're tired when we're running. We're tired when we're sparring.
Thank you.
But you can still push. My heart rate was like 34 in my sleep this training camp. There's no heart rate. There's nothing that you're going to get tired no matter what. There's no steroids, PEDs. You're always going to get tired, but it's how can you recover? How do you perform under fatigue, because you can perform like shit under fatigue, or you can continue to make smart decisions. And I feel like that's what I did a lot in this fight, was just try to keep my feet moving, keep moving around, never staying in one spot so Gilbert could land that big shot, and it paid off.
I'm so glad you said that, because I talk about this a lot, and people say, oh, Bisping's saying the same thing again.
Yeah.
People don't understand it until they've done it. Yep. I used to get tired. Yep. You got tired. We all get tired, but it's that mental choice, because we all want to step off the gas. We all want to say, you know what, I'm exhausted, so I'm not going to push through it because our lungs are burning. They're on fire. We can't breathe. But are you tough enough, and do you want it bad enough to continue pushing? Because we all want to stop. And I talk about that. It is a mental choice to a certain degree. So I'm glad you said that.
No, 100%. It's like when you're out in the middle of I'm sorry. I knew I was supposed to say
No.
that.
Go ahead. Fill your boots.
When you're running, and you're running miles at a certain pace, at a certain heart rate, you want to stop. but
Yes.
you don't stop, and like, unless you want to be a quitter, like you don't stop.
Yeah.
Like you don't stop in the middle of the run. So yeah,
I remember running through my neighborhood, and my neighbors were like, "What is?" I'm like, with every bloody step. I'm hating
madman.
every second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying myself.
No,
but I want to
no.
win the fight.
Exactly.
I want to be victorious, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Quick question. You said you pulled your groin. Just recently, I was in Manchester for 304, and on the weigh-in show, we had to run like a 40-yard dash. We had to do some sprints. It was like just messing around, being stupid.
Yeah.
And at 45 years old, though, I was still competitive. I'm like, I'm winning this.
Yeah.
So I set off sprinting, and I pulled my groin. And that was, 6-7 weeks ago, and it's still not improving. Every time I try and run, I can still feel it there.
Yeah.
How long did that take to go away for you?
So I had a partial tear. I was right. If it was torn a little bit more, I would have needed the surgery, but I was right at the point where I still could get away without doing surgery and doing physical therapy. But man, it took months of because I tore my groin. I did rehab for a couple weeks. I'm like, all right, I'm better. I went back to training, toured again a little bit. And then I'm like, all right, I just need to not train and do PT. So I didn't train for about a month. And I did hardcore PT, and about 2 months, it was getting better. But I'm not even going to lie. Like, to this day, like, if I go run, like, a hard 5-mile run at, like, a 6-something mile an hour pace, like, my groin it'll hurt. Like, I'll be sore.
And let me ask, because I'd never pulled my groin before, so I was worried. I was like, have I got bloody cancer on my balls or something? It's literally just above.
It's your balls.
Just... Yeah. I'm like, what's going on here? Have I got testicular cancer or something?
So that pain, it shoots into your nuts. I was like, I have ball cancer. I was terrified to say, because you know how we're all like, oh, we don't want to. I was like, I'm not going to the doctor. I was like, I'm just going to ride this out, and I guess I'm just going to die of testicular cancer.
Just ball cancer.
It got to a point where I would walk, and I was in so much pain. My wife's a nurse. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, my balls are killing me.
She's like, what have you been doing?
Luckily it turned out it was just a torn adductor. But that was one of the worst injuries ever.
No, it's a pain in the ass or the balls. So Gilbert Burns, I mean, we were all excited to see you. You're known for your grappling, and Gilbert go at it on the ground. And there were elements of that. But what was so impressive from both of you is that the way, I mean, Gilbert's explosivity and, of course, the technique that he uses as well. When you were getting him down, he had an answer for everything, but then you had an answer for him. Some of the scrambles were crazy. No,
it was awesome. And that's what I was looking forward to the most is I'm a competitor at the end of the day. I want to test myself against some of the best guys in the world. And I don't have the world championship accolades in jiu-jitsu just because I never went and competed that at that level, which I would still like to do. But I knew I could win those scrambles and I could take him down. I can control him. But I just wanted to get in there and feel it. And man, he's as good as ever. He's really tricky on the ground. Like the way he would, when I took him down, he'd roll through and grab my leg. I think it was 2 times where he did something like that. I'm like, man, he's where the last 2 takedowns, I was able to actually floor him to the ground and secure him. But if you give him space, and I knew this, you give him space, he's scrambling, he's getting back to his feet. Gilbert's big, he's strong. And he's one of the best in the world for a reason. So it was an awesome fight. For me as a fan too, I went back and watched it and I'm like, man, this was a good fun fight.
And the thing is now as well, because, and I saw you talking about this last week, which I really loved, by the way, the toxic assholes out there on Twitter that talk crap about fighters. It's become a very, very popular thing. Yep. Let's talk shit when they have no idea what we go through, what it takes to do this, the courage it takes to just step in the octagon, let alone fight, to think that you're going to do this for a living and then to follow it through and to do all of that. And then now, of course, Gilbert's going to be, there's people out there, he's lost 3 in a row, he's done, he's cooked, his career's over.
It's already began. It's crazy. You have a few missteps, right? And then same thing with me when I fought Belal. I was 15-0. I lost 1 fight, and then I sucked. And then you have to sit in that. I was horrible. I was the worst fighter in the world. But it's just crazy how it's people who would never have the balls to do what we do and put their life on the line and go out there and fight another man in a cage. it's just they just don't have what we have inside of us, and they're jealous. And that's why they talk shit to us, because they could never do what we do, and that's why we're out there and they're at home in the stands.
They are normally fat little pussies.
Yep.
Don't leave their
And
mom's basement.
Yeah, in their mom's basement with some Cheetos on their fingers.
Yeah. No, it's true.
But
It's true.
There's also great fans who win or
the best.
lose. Win or lose. Like, we have so much support, but there's those trolls out there for sure.
No, dude, it's more popular to talk shit these days. So let's keep it down. Now, there's great fans. The UFC's got the best fans in the world. But if you're one of those dickheads, kiss our asses.
Kiss our asses.
Kiss our asses. You mentioned Belal Muhammad there. Of course, the only loss on your record, 17-1. I mean, what a record that is, first of all. The loss to Belal, of course, that has aged incredibly well, right? I mean, he's now the champion of the world. 100%. But if you could go back and do that fight again, what would you change?
Just that fight was, if you go back and watch it, it was very competitive until I got caught with a shot and I didn't throw punches back when he was hitting me. It's more about, I just wasn't present in that moment. Like, something happened to where I got clipped and my focus was just somewhere else, and I just took my eye off the prize for 1 minute. Now, I don't know how you feel about it, but I started working with mental coaches after that. And it was the best thing I ever did, because we always work on the physical, but we never work on the mental side. And I think I needed to just take a step back and really work on my mind and just we're all fighters, but a lot of us lack a lot of confidence. And that's something I lacked in myself, where that's why I train so hard and love martial arts, is because that's how you build confidence. But even to this level, 15-0, I kind of felt like I didn't belong there. But now, if you look at my last 2 fights, doing the media, doing all this stuff, and then my fights, obviously, I feel like I truly belong here and I'm one of the best in the world. And just going into that fight, if it does happen again for the belt or number 1 contender, just being confident in who I am as a fighter and knowing that I can beat anybody in the world. And that's what I proved to myself Saturday night.
Yeah, no, without question. I mean, after that fight, you did go and listen, and I say it respectfully, because I said some things about Kelvin Gastelum, and he came at me on Twitter. He shot me a little DM. He said, "I can't wait to see you in person." I'm like, I said, "Well, you just lay off the Jimmy bars in the meantime, buddy, but I look forward to it." So kiss my ass. But you whooped him like no one's ever done that. You went out there, you dominated him, eventually got the Kimura. Now you've just beaten Gilbert Burns. So it doesn't matter. The one loss to the champ is way in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
So what's the future look like? You mentioned Ian Gary on Saturday night. I know there's Colby Covington, but Ian would be a popular one.
Yeah, Ian would be a popular one because he's like Colby, where he has that, like, either people hate him or love him. Most people hate him, but Ian actually goes out there and fights. Colby just doesn't fight. He hasn't fought in a year. There's been no talk of him fighting again. So he's ranked ahead of me. I'll be ranked ahead of Ian tomorrow when the rankings come out, but I would still fight him because he has a huge name. And he has a lot of value to him. But Colby would be fun too, just because of him fighting for the belt, being an interim champion, and people still think that he has he holds a lot of stock in this division, but I don't even think he belongs in the top 10, top 15. The last guy he beat was Masvidal. Masvidal's retired, and that's the last win this guy has. So I think either one of those guys make perfect sense.
Well, speaking of mental coaches, Ian Gary might need one soon. I don't know if you saw, his wife was posting videos of him kicked out of his house, and he's standing there with the flowers and everything, serenading. I'm like, listen, hey, I'm arguing with my missus all the time, so there's no judgment. But why is she putting it on social media?
But and even if you're not good with your missus, like I've told my wife this before, and she's been with me since my last amateur fight all the way through my pro career. So I was 19 or 20 when I met her. So I'm 31 now. We've been together for 11 years. We have our first baby on the way.
Nice.
I was like, listen, don't go online. Because she's very protective of me. I'm sure your wife's the same way. She's like, she wants to go online and go at these people. I'm like, I would never allow you to do that, because then they're going to try to come at you. And then that's going to start a completely different thing. Like, we got to leave our significant others out of this, whereas I think Ian, she's in everything. And I know from like other people that she's always in everyone's ear when they're at the UFC, and she's running this kid's career. Bro, run your own shit. Be a man, run your own career. And especially posting videos like that, and I'm sure they're trying to do it to be funny or whatever they're trying to do, but it just it makes you look so weak. And like this new era of men is he just looks like a pussy, like to be completely honest.
Yeah, to your point, I think it was just like trying to be funny and all the rest of it.
But he already has that thing attached to him with his you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The whole, I'm not saying, they say the whole cook thing. That's not me. That's not me.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd love to see that matchup. I think stylistically,
me too.
It'd be great for you. But you are now, I mean, you're in the conversation without a shadow of a doubt. In your opinion, Gilbert Burns, Belal Muhammad, right, there's a little talk about who's going to be next in line. I mean, I think you'd probably, with respect, need one more. One more.
100%.
And I think you'd get that.
100%.
Who do you think should fight Belal next?
It's hard because I've been hearing the same talks. It's like there's Shavkat. But if you look at Shavkat, amazing record, undefeated, all finishes. His last fight was Wonder Boy, and I love Wonder Boy. All respect to Wonder Boy, but he's 41 years old. He's a striker. You know, when you're a striker, the older you get, the harder it is to be at the top of your game. Whereas like a grappler, there's guys who are 45 years old winning ADCC. So it's hard for him to be at his best. So I would like to see like maybe like a Shavkat and a JDM fight, and then the winner of that. And then there's Usman. And then people are saying, well, Usman's lost his last 3. But it's like he was beating Leon until he wasn't. Then he lost to Leon. And then he lost to Khamzat at 185. So I don't know. Like, I truly think it's almost a point where, like, we always want to see the champion be active. I almost think Belal deserves to sit and let a couple of these chess pieces play out. Like, even me and whoever I fight in December or January. And then another fight's down the line, or like, but you don't know because Jack Della had that staph infection after he fought Gilbert Burns. That was in March, and there's still no talk of him coming back. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It could be Shavkat, could be the winner of him and JDM, or it could be Usman. Like the UFC's done crazier things, you know. So it'll be interesting.
I'll tell you what's interesting as well, seeing you not talk shit, not saying, listen, Belal needs to be active and all the rest of it. It is actually refreshing to see. So fair play to you for that. Yeah. I've got to ask you about this. I mean, you have got some serious tattoos, Sean Brady.
Yeah.
What is that thing on your back? Because I've seen that kind of logo before. What is that?
It's a Japanese Hanya mask.
That's it.
It's a Japanese. I have it. Aspinall has one on his back. So there's so many different versions of it.
Aspinall, he's got the same thing.
Volkov, Alexander Volkov has one. So
Is this like the 2024 version of like the Angel Wings?
No.
Tony Ferguson.
No.
There's a bunch of them. I think Dustin Poirier.
Tony Ferguson, Benson Henderson. They all have.
Yeah. It's the 2024 Angel Wings.
Most of my tattoos are all Japanese, but Japanese tattoos and culture is like timeless. Like you can look at Japanese bodysuits, meaning tattoos from 40 years ago, and they still will look good today if they were done well. And that's what I like about this. It's just big, like dragons and tigers and stuff like that. So I just think it all, like, people are just like, what's the meanings behind it? I'm like, I know some of the meanings, but this shit just looks cool. Like it's art. It's art. I'm out there and I'm like a big canvas, so I just get to display it.
Yeah, no, I'm far from a tattoo guy, so I don't know all the conversations and all the points and the technicalities. Sick ink, bro. But I do know what looks good, and that shit on you looks good. But I gotta say, you're covered in it. At what point did you just think, you know what? Screw this. I'm going all in.
Oh man, I knew since I was young I wanted to be fully covered, and I'm pretty close to that. But it started off as like when I was younger fighting, I didn't have money. So every time I fought and I got a little bit of money, I'd add a new tattoo. So it became like after a ritual. Fight thing. Yeah, it became like a ritual. And then it became the point where I started having more money and I could afford to get good tattoos. So I just kept doing it. Now I'm at the point where I have a little bit of room left and I'll only get them like here and there because I'm so obsessed with training that I hate missing training. And I would get tattooed and then go train the next day. And you're supposed to sit out for like a couple of weeks when you get tattooed. And I just never do it. And like the rate that you could get an infection in your skin is so high that I don't even want to take that chance anymore. Where like I've literally gotten tattooed and gone and trained the same night, which is the dumbest thing you could ever do. But
yeah, I had neck surgery 2 weeks ago and I'm lifting weights already. We're idiots.
What'd you have done to your neck?
I had a disc replacement.
Did you?
Yeah. You see
how's it feel?
It's not great.
You had your knees. You had your knees done too, right?
Knees are replaced. 2 plates in my neck. Disc replaced. Eye replaced.
And
what else?
Are you back running on those knees? I seen something. That you were...
When I haven't pulled a groin, I'm running every day because I love it.
Really?
I just love it.
Yeah, I know. I've been following you forever, and it always just sounds like you're just always in the gym because you love it, and that's. For me, it's just like that. It's literally our job. Like I know guys who won't train for months after they fight until they get in there. I'm like, this is literally your job. Like this is the only thing you're supposed to be doing. Why would you be doing anything else? And guys hate running. The excuses about the running. It's like, no, you're just a pussy and you don't want to run. Like that's what it is.
Correct. And then they come out with all these new ways and new science of not to run.
There's I'm sitting I have my treadmill behind me. I have the Echo bike. I have all the tools. There's nothing that replaces running. There's nothing that replaces that. If you can't go run distance, go do hill sprints. You have to move those legs. And guys just don't want to do it because it's hard. That's it.
Yeah. And I always say this, but Jason Perillo, my boxing coach, I went to him at the start of one camp one day and I'm like, so my strength and conditioning coach doesn't want me doing as much running for this camp because it's going to wear me down. And he said, no. You know why he doesn't want you to go running? I said, why? He said, because running's free. He can't charge you for it. And I'm like, again.
That's the easiest thing to tell someone. Go run. And then when people are like, oh, I'm going to go, I ran 2 miles. I'm like, listen, 2 miles ain't doing dick for you. It's like for me, it's like 3. Like I'm even at the point now, like I won't go run unless I'm running for 5 miles, like minimum 5 miles. And I'm not saying you have to be out there dogging it the entire time, but I think it's just freeing. Like I'll go run in the trails, I'll get out in the woods, and I'll just be one with nature. You know, there's nothing like it. People are afraid to be alone with their thoughts. I think that's what it is.
I've said this so many times, but it's literally the best part of my day. It's not like I'm some workout maniac. My wife would say that I am. I need it for my mental health. I feel so much better, so much more relaxed. I'm focused. I'm dialed in. I also like to enjoy the finer things in life. I like maybe a little bit too much alcohol and stuff like that. So I work it off in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I clear my head.
You're a world champion already. You've done so much, and you can, if you're still here putting in work, and you deserve a little alcohol and a little cheesecake and like.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Last question. We'll let you go in a second, and thanks for your time. The first time we've spoken, dude, I could do this all day. Tell me a little bit about Sean Brady as a young man, and like, what was your path into finding yourself being a professional fighter?
Man, I knew when I was younger, I always wanted to be a professional something. Like I used to skateboard when I was younger. I rode dirt bikes. I did a bunch of like crazy stuff, and I always wanted to be a pro athlete. And then I started training, and I found Muay Thai, and then I found Jiu-Jitsu, and eventually I kept training. I had a couple amateur fights, and I was training with Felder and some of these other guys, and they're like, man, I was like 19 at the time, helping them prepare for big fights, and they're like, just stick with this and you can be really, really good at it. And so I always want to be like money and all that stuff. Like if I could become UFC champion and nobody know my face, I would do it 100%. Because I don't do it for the fans. I don't do it for other validations. I do it because I want to be a UFC champion. And the money and all that, being able to support my family is nice, but I would do this shit for free. And I know a lot of people say that, but I would truly work a 9 to 5. And I would wake up at 5 or 4 a.m. and work out, and then I would train. I would find a way because I just love it so much. But I remember being a young kid. Like, I'm a huge fan of GSP, just the way he fights and just him as a martial. I consider myself a martial artist. Fighting is something I do, but I'm not just a fighter. I feel like I'm a martial artist, and I'm going to be a martial artist till the day I die. So the way GSP lived and the way that he still trains and eats, and like that's how I want my life to be. You know, I want to be a world champion. I want to get there by not talking shit, taking the hard fights, and getting there the right way. And I look at myself when I was 15. I'm 31 now. I think I'm doing a pretty good job of being on the path that I wanted to be on.
Oh, no, you're absolutely smashing it. As you said, George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson as well. There's another guy that's exactly the same way. I know.
Just retired and had an amazing career and still had a lot of juice left in the tank, but he's paying to compete in jiu-jitsu tournaments. And I'm going to be the same way. Like, I love it. Like, it's what I do. And I know there's a lot of guys who aren't like that, and that's fine, but that's not me. I'm going to spar, do jiu-jitsu. I want to learn, and I want to be the best version of myself until the day I leave this earth.
It's beautiful, Sean. It really is. And the performance Saturday was beautiful. Congratulations. I'm excited for your future. Thanks for your time today. And
thank you.
I'll leave you to it, my man.
Let's do it again, man. This was the blast.
Let's do it, buddy.
I feel like I can talk to you all day.
Awesome. Oh, dude, all day. Get out of here. Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
My man. Jeez Louise. Sean Brady, Harrington. I could have spoke to him all day.
Dude, I know. He's the man.
He really is. As I say, it's the first time we've had a real conversation like that. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, we've got other guests jumping on, but Jesus Christ, he's got a great personality. He's not a dork. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's not up his own ass, works his ass off. Interesting guy. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know who will be the champion, but I think at some point, I see a title in his future for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. I mean, he's we knew it going into the Belal fight. That's why Belal getting the knockout against Sean Brady was such a big deal. People don't remember Belal was a big underdog going into that fight, right? Like Sean Brady 100% has the pedigree to be a title challenger before we know it.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Right, we've got a few minutes before the next guest jumps on. I do believe it should be either Kayla Harrison or Cody Durden. I can't remember. I think it's Kayla, but we shall see. This episode is sponsored by Mando, which was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Some people sweat a lot, some more than others. And when you sweat, it starts to stink, and nobody wants that. Well, Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day long and control odor for up to 72 hours. By the way, it's safe to use everywhere. Your body, your pits, your packages, your balls, wherever you want to put deodorant, you can put it. Belly buttons, backs, cracks, crevices, stomach folds, feet, whatever you want. Clinically proven, as I say, to control odor for up to 72 hours. It's baking soda free. It's paraben free. It's pH balanced. So you can put it on the balls. And right now they are offering the 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that works as a shampoo, a face wash, a body wash, and a deodorant. So you haven't got to pack all of that stuff if you're on the move like me. So technically, it's a 5-in-1 because you can use it as a shaving lather as well. Clinically proven also to control odor for 24 hours. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap can't do that because the pH is too high. This simplifies your hygiene routine, and it's the only thing that you really need to pack. You can get it in 3 cologne quality scents: Mount Fuji, Fresh and Woodsy, Bourbon Leather, Sweet and Sophisticated, and the Pro Sport. Well, that's clean and citrus. And right now, as a special offer for the listeners, new customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack when you go to shopmando.com and use the code BISPING. Shopmando.com, use the code BISPING, $5 off. That equates to 40% off the starter pack. And the Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. So as I said, shopmando.com. The code is BISPING for $5 off, which equates to 40% off the starter pack. Kayla Harrison, the one and only.
Hi.
Coming at us live from what looks like a teepee.
What?
Looks like you're in a teepee.
Oh yeah, I'm in the schoolroom, and this is like our little reading nook. So
yeah.
It's like it is kind of a teepee with a beanbag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you, Kayla. Last time I saw you was at, I forget which UFC it was. It was in Madison Square Garden.
You saw me at UFC 300 where I fought.
Did I really? Oh, God. I've been hitting the head too many times, so I apologize. Anyway,
we did sit next to each other at the Garden, and I decided that night that I liked you.
Well, it was great to talk, Jen. It was great to catch up with you at UFC 300, but never mind that.
You don't even remember. So how do you know?
You fought at UFC 300 as well, though. So congratulations on an epic UFC debut. Let me ask you. I know you're and you got a good sense of humor, so I can say this and you won't get offended. You know, you're a cocky bitch, you know, but you went out there and you lived up to all that hype. Because the thing is, because I was, yeah, I mean, no, but I was the same way. You talk all that shit and you put yourself under a lot of pressure. And people in other organizations, they come to the UFC, you know, and they've got a lot to prove. You went up against a former champion, a legend of the sport, and it was just pure domination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anything less.
Have you always been like this?
No.
Come on, don't lie.
I can't tell if MMA brought out the best in me or the worst in me, to be honest.
Well, it's for the best. It's for the best. You're doing well. You're on top of the world.
You never talk shit in judo, you know? Like, you bow in, you do your match, you bow out. Like, there's never any shit talking. I mean, MMA has brought out a different side to me, but I enjoy it. You know, I love, it's all in good fun. Like, I don't have any ill will towards anyone, or I just, you know, believe in myself. And
no, of course.
Like greatness.
And rightly so. And I'm assuming that if you were talking shit on an Olympic team, that's not the way to be, you know, representing your country at the highest level, right?
Yeah, it's frowned upon for sure.
No, for sure. Just remind me again of your judo credentials. How many gold medals?
I'm the first and only American to ever win a gold medal, and I won 2.
Wow. Unbelievable. That really is incredible. So congratulations. But it won't be the only gold in your future if everything goes your way. What's coming up? You got a big fight on the cards?
Yeah. 4 weeks out. UFC 307 in Salt Lake versus Caitlin Vieira.
I think so. I get the sound files emailed to me. It's Vieira.
Okay. Well, you look like you speak Portuguese, so.
Oh, do I? I'm going to take the glasses off then, if that's what you're going to say. My God, I'm a little puffy right now. I've been traveling a lot and all the rest of it. You know how the water weight works. Kayla Vieira, how are you feeling in anticipation of this matchup?
I feel great. I mean, I'm, cutting to 135 brings out a different beast in me, you know? I think that I spend a lot of time alone with my thoughts, whether it's, acclimating to the sauna. I do an extra 6 miles a day of cardio now that I've never had to do before in my life. On top of the other 2 training sessions every day. So I spend a lot of time alone. And I get to think a lot about how I'm going to go out there and instill my will and dominate from start to finish. So I feel good. I feel ready. I just can't fucking wait.
It's funny that you mentioned.
I'm hungry.
Literally and figuratively. It's funny you say that. I was just talking to Sean Brady and we were talking about conditioning, and when we would go out running, it gives you so much time to think. And like, for me, it was like my meditation time.
Yes. Exactly.
But the big story for you coming into your UFC debut was, how on earth is this woman going to make 135 pounds when the lightest you'd fought at was 145? I'm assuming, though, it went well, but it must have been hell. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm believer that anything worth having in life is going to take sacrifice and discipline. And if it was easy, then everybody would do it. For sure, it was 12 weeks of, and I'm back in it again. It's 12 weeks of very strict discipline. And the first time I made 135, I hadn't weighed that since I was 16 years old. So a lot of faith came into play, and it was a lot of like surrender to the process and just accept kind of that, like, I'm not right now, guys. Sorry, my kids just got home.
It's okay. How old are the kids?
My son is 5. And
get him on. Let's have a look. Let's have a little chat.
Come say hi. Okay, you can come say hi.
What they called?
Kyla and Emery. Gang. No.
Get your asses over it. I won't swear in front of the kids, I promise.
Guys.
We're getting a little tour around.
You guys want to say hi to my friend Bisping? He's a count.
He's a legend.
He's a legend.
He's a bit of a dickhead as well. Oh, hey, oh, hi.
Hola. Can you say
Don't
hi?
be shy.
Emily,
Hola.
say hi.
Oh, very, very
See
multilingual.
that? Look, I painted that. You like
Oh,
that?
look at that.
I know. Look at our school.
No.
Oh, there he is.
No,
Say hi,
hey,
say
buddy. How you doing?
Can you say
Are you sticking your tongue out at me?
Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, back out. Say hi,
Beautiful
say
kids.
bye. Say hi, say
Beautiful
bye. Say hi, say bye.
You got to get your kids under control, Kayla. What the hell's going on?
I know. Well,
You know, this is a big time interview right now. You
I
know?
yeah,
Jeez,
very
jeez.
professional. Dude, never mind. No, sorry.
All right, okay. I'm assuming you go out there, you get the job done. You're going to be pretty pissed off if you don't get a title shot.
Oh, I will absolutely kill someone. 100%. No, Dana White will be, he will find out. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. No, I shouldn't talk shit about the boss, should I?
No, Daddy's going to
You
send
put on the block.
No, but you listen, you came in with a massive reputation. Everyone expected you to have to prove yourself, but also kind of get fast tracked at the same time, you know, because you're a champion, you're an Olympic gold medalist, you know, you have status. But you go out there, you beat her, Raquel Pennington.
I mean, I'm ready to fight that same night, you know, like I feel like if I fight, I dust up Caitlin real quick, and then maybe one of those girls gets cold feet or they get hurt or whatever. Like I'll just run back out. If they need me to change uniforms, I think I could take all three of those girls on the same night, to be honest with you. Like it's only a matter of time. And they know it too. They know, Juliana, Raquel, all of them, they know that they're just keeping the seat warm for me.
Certainly. I mean, I can see your logic and why you would feel like that. Who would you rather fight? I know as a fan, and there's nothing against Raquel Pennington, I kind of want to see you and Juliana Pena in a war of words at a press conference, just talking mad shit.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care. Like, I don't let emotions get in the way of my business. But if it was going to be like Kayla's choice, of course, I would love to put a elbow through Juliana's giant forehead. That would bring me great joy.
What do you think of her as a fighter?
I mean, she's tough. Everybody's tough until you beat them.
Correct. So you're 4 weeks out, Salt Lake City. That's an elevation, right?
Like 4,000 feet, something like that.
I'm assuming because of all the Olympic training and like the amount of science and like, you know, because we're down here, we're MMA fighters, we're grunts in the gym. No, I'm serious. No, but you know what I'm saying, right? You know where I'm going. Like we're in the gym, we're like smacking the shit out of each other. Let's go and run, you know, but you're on an Olympic team, right? They got bloody graphs and charts and doing blood.
Okay, I think that I should clarify I was on the U.S. Olympic judo team. We're like the rejects of the Olympic team for the United States. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, here's a pair of Nike shoes, you know, like.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of science, I'm sure, that goes into your training.
I mean, there's definitely, now that I have money, there's science that goes into like cutting weight and things like that. But like Mike Brown is my head coach. Do you think that there's a lot of science that Mike Brown is conducting?
I'm not talking shit about Mike Brown. He's the man.
It's Mike Brown and Steve Mako and Anderson. Like, you know, are we? You think we're over there like calculating? No.
Yeah, I've got a vision like, you know, like Rocky Ford. They're looking at computers and you're running. You got like the 50 Cent in the club video. We're like
I'm
on the
Rocky
treadmill.
in Rocky 4. I'm Rocky. Yeah. I'm like I got the barn out back. I'm doing the sit-ups and like chasing chickens and shit, which is, I mean, I actually really am. But
that's great.
There's a little bit of science, but I mean, we're probably cut from the same cloth, you and I, you know, like you grow up hard and nothing inside of a cage is ever going to hit harder than life. And you put your nose down and you work hard and good things happen to people who work hard. You know, that's it. Like I don't skip days at the gym. I don't skip the runs. I don't skip the mental reps. I don't skip the recovery protocol. I mean, yeah, like I have a hyperbaric now. I get in the cold plunge. I have an infrared sauna. I have the Normatec boots. I do, stem cell therapy. Like, of course, I utilize all of these recovery modalities that I didn't have access to as a kid. But dude, when I was 22 and I won the Olympics, I shit you not, I was living off of like pizza rolls and Diet Coke and Oreos. Like there was no science. It was just a kid with a dream who was too dumb to know that she probably shouldn't win.
Yeah. And all that stuff that you just mentioned, unless you're willing to work your ass off, you don't even need it. Unless you're pushing yourself to the absolute limit and breaking yourself down, you don't need all that shit.
I mean, even to this day, like, I'm still not convinced that all of this stuff does anything, but I'm 34. Same. I've been doing 2 a day since I was 12 years old. Like, my body's beat to shit. I have arthritis in every joint on my body. Like, I'm worn down. So is it going to hurt? No. Am I going to do it? Yeah. Do I believe it works? Who knows? But
yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I have all these, fitness gurus and everything, and they all talk about the latest trend and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, I'm not interested. I'm going to go for a run.
I know.
Okay. I'm going to work hard in the gym. I'm going to hit pads like a maniac. I'm going to spar as hard as I can. If I'm lifting weights, I'm going to lift hard and fast.
As hard as I can. Yeah.
I don't want to hear all your shit about yellow days and green days and red days and rest days. And yeah, I'll be overtrained.
Did you see this?
Do you know what I'm saying? No, it's that off. Get out of here with this bullshit.
I don't care. No, I have this ring, right? It's an Aura ring. Okay. So it tells you like,
yep.
Oh, your recovery.
My daughter's got one.
Yeah. No. Okay. I swear to God. Okay. So like it scores you 70, 80, 90, your readiness levels, your sleep scores, all this. Now I'm a single mom of 2 kids, and I've got about 500 animals that, I got cats running up and down. I got dogs. I got kids. Someone's always, a kid's sick, whatever. My score on this ring my sleep score has probably never been above a 60, which is a fail, right? Like 60 is not good. There are guys, I know people who's, oh man, I didn't get a good night's sleep. My recovery, my resting heart rate was in the 50s last night. So I'm going to take it easy today. And I'm just like, dude, if I did that, I would never train. Like I would literally never train because I'm never recovered. So yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. I think it's just
but those
hard.
people
show up and work hard. Like that's it.
Yeah, and those people are looking for an excuse.
Yeah,
they're looking for an excuse, and they're not built from the same stuff. And there's a reason why I'm not talking to those people. I'm speaking to one of the greatest judokas the world's ever seen. Look at the size of those things. My God, tell me this. So talking about all the science, when you walked into the PI, and they were going to figure out if you could make 135 pounds. Yeah. They must have been like, Jesus, Dana, it's not possible. She can't do it. What were those conversations like?
Yeah, no, I did a DEXA scan, and my, first of all, I have really, really dense bones. So I am literally big boned, and it's part genetic, but also part of, being thrown for 20 years. Like the impact has made my bones denser. I have like 300 times the average density.
The Ukemi Waza.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, come on. I'm a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu, girl. We invented judo. So don't get me started on the Japanese terminology, okay? I look like a knucklehead, and I am. But I got a bit of Japanese terminology.
you just went up one notch in my book.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You're like the Ukemi
a little notch. I know. Come on. It's the only one I've got. So you were saying?
No, literally, my bones are so big, and when you have big bones, it takes muscle to carry that weight. My lean body tissue, whatever the hell it's called, I had 136 pounds. If you took away every single ounce of fat on my body, I was 136 pounds. So like we had to restructure, like I had to had to lose muscle. I literally run or walk, bike or swim 6 miles minimum, like every day now for 12 weeks. So I'm doing, wrestling in the morning, and then I'm coming home, I'm breaking my fast, and then I'm going out in the Florida sun and doing 6 miles. Then I'm coming home, I'm eating again, and then I'm going to do my technique at night. Then I'm coming home, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, I'm in the sauna. Like, it sucks. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, but
I spend a lot of time sweaty.
Yeah, it does suck. It does suck, but you love it at the same time. And there's certain days, because I remember, and by the way, I wasn't a single mother, of course. I mean, that just adds, no, but that adds to the stress, I'm sure. And you're running around with all that stuff and the animals and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very blessed. I have such a good support system. My mom comes down to help with the kids, especially when I get really close to a fight. I have a really good, I homeschool my kids. So like, we go with the ebb and flow. Some days we get a ton of shit done, and some days mom's like, you know what? We're gonna like practice the cartwheels. Like,
you're not making it easy for yourself, are you? It's like, I know. On top of all of this, I'm gonna homeschool these little bastards. Yeah, they're having it the Harrison way.
This is like the life I dreamed of. Like I was once, dude. Like I was 16. I was in like the worst possible mental state you could be. I had no money. I had nothing. I got shipped off to Boston. I had $250 in my bank account, which was exactly half the month's rent. And like, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to pursue. I didn't want to be Olympic champion. I didn't want to be alive, let alone Olympic champion or MMA world champion, UFC champion. I had no hope and no dreams. So like the life I live now, like I never thought I was going to be able to have kids and have a career and chase my dreams and be able to financially support my whole family and be able to like give back and have a foundation. Like I never thought I would be in the position I'm in, and I'm so grateful, and like I cherish it. I try to squeeze the ever living shit out of life, like I want to make the most of every single day. And you're right. I do love it. Like it's hard. It is so hard, but it is so rewarding and so fulfilling. Like I don't go work at a 9 to 5, and I don't like sit on my phone and scroll all day. And I don't like take part in shit that means nothing to me. Like I do things that matter to me, to my kids, to my family, hopefully to the world someday. Like, dude, I live the life. Like, it's great.
No, and that's amazing to hear. And and it is a struggle, and it is a pain in the ass, and it does get on top, and it can get you down, and you have your good days and your bad days, and your days where you just think, what am I doing all this for?
Yeah.
But when you get that belt wrapped around your waist, and more importantly, when you start defending it, and you're getting those big paydays coming in, and all these people that talk shit and say, oh, UFC fighters don't get paid. Off. Yeah, I've been a champion. You can earn a lot of money. Yeah. It's all going to feel good then, Kayla.
Yeah. No, I mean, these are the best days of my life. Like these are 100% the best days of my life. My kids are young. They're healthy. I'm young. I'm healthy. Like, and I don't know. I just am blessed. Like I love the pursuit of waking up every day and trying to be the best possible version of myself. Like working hard brings me joy. Like pursuing excellence brings me joy. It took me a long time to get to that point. It used to be like, oh, I need a gold medal, or I need $1 million, or I need it took me a long time to understand that, like, no, dude, this is it. Like, this is where the magic happens. And it is. And when I just focus on today and I live in that, then I have great days.
Well, it's beautiful that you actually realize that now as you're living in it. When I was doing it, I never stood back and smelled the roses. I was so stressed out and just trying to make it up as I went along, and like finding new coaches, moving to another country and doing all this and dealing with bullshit dickheads on Twitter. And I was like, getting knocked out one fight, winning another one. I didn't have quite the dominance you do, but the fact that you're enjoying the process whilst you live through it, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I think, no, dude, I was the same. I spent so much of my Dobby, shut up.
Jesus. Now the dogs.
I have a lot.
Yeah, come on. Show me the dog. What we got? What we working with?
We got a mastiff and then we got like a rat over there, but I hate that dog. Anyway.
You want to see my dog? My dog's I used to have a man's dog, a German
you
Shepherd.
probably have like a Chihuahua or like a poodle.
Harry! Harry!
Oh no, I guarantee you it's a Frenchie. Is it a Frenchie?
No, Harry! Come here, boy!
Harry!
Right, it's a Yorkie poo.
Oh no!
I don't. No. I that's my German Shepherd. He died. Okay. My wife won't let me get another one because she's a.
Because she's a what?
Because she's a bitch. I'm joking. I'm only serious. She's like, I'm gonna deal with the dog shit.
When I see you for your wife.
No, but she's like,
a goddamn saint. I watched your documentary. She's a saint. Don't you ever say a bad word about her.
No, do you know what the great thing is? Do you know what makes her an even bigger saint? Is that she has a great sense of humor and she knows I don't mean that in one.
That's the best. You got to be able to laugh.
Yeah. No, exactly. But she won't let me have another dog. So we're on thin ice. Kayla, I'll let you go. That was awesome. We're going to do this.
Thank you, my friend. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Are you going to Salt Lake or are you?
Try and keep me away. I think I'm going to be
okay,
there,
great. Yeah. So I am going to blast W when I see you. Just
please do. We just got to get it on camera. Enjoy the last 4 weeks of torture, sacrifice, not eating, being stressed out.
Be worth it.
But you know what? Afterwards, when you look back, it's all part of the journey. Kayla, I wish you nothing but the best of success. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks, my friend. See you soon.
All right, get out of here. Bye-bye. Harrington, is that 2 interview of the year contenders or what?
Dude, right there. I mean, the grace and professionalism of dealing with not one but 2 children in the house and still being able to conduct an interview with a former world champion. It's incredible. It's the poise under pressure for Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, no. She's an impressive person, as she said, single mother, 2 kids, going through a UFC career. Yeah, she's got a support system with the mother and I'm sure friends and family, but that ain't easy. And like for me, when I was training, it was just, I didn't do anything. Rebecca, I would drive home from the gym and I would wait until when I got to a certain landmark, I knew how far. Right, I'm just going past such and such. Make me my lunch, and I would just walk in, and it was being plated and sat down right as I walked in. She's doing it all herself. 500 animals. I think that might have been an exaggeration, but. Yeah, she's an impressive woman. She really, really is. Can't wait for that fight. Are you ready for the ultimate college football season? It's MyBookie's 10-year anniversary, and you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. No app is needed. Just click the link and use the promo code BELIEVE. It's a quick sign up and then you're ready to win. Turn your football season into your best winning season yet with MyBookie. Whether you're rooting for your alma mater or betting on a hunch, there is no better way to experience the thrills of the season than a little skin in the game. When you bet with MyBookie, you're not just watching the games. You're investing in every moment of the action. I'll say from experience, a few bucks on the line can turn any regular game into a highlight of the season. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the average college football game runs about 180 plays? Every catch, sack, and touchdown is another way to hit pay dirt using MyBookie. Get in now and use the promo code BELIEVE to claim a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. That is promo code BELIEVE to start the football season off playing with house money. The best part is MyBookie will keep you coming back for more with tons of exclusive lines, free bets, and access to VIP contests. I mean, that is unbelievable. All you got to do is make your first deposit and claim a bonus of up to $1,000 when you go to mybookie.com and you use the promo code BELIEVE. All right, so Harrington, what have we got in the news, please? I want the biggest story. groundbreaking stuff. What have we got?
Okay. Well, I think there's nothing grabbed headlines quite like this. Daniel Cormier says he got caught eating a handful of popcorn on broadcast when he was supposed to be breaking down a slow-mo replay. Here's the quote. You have to have popcorn because you're sitting in the best seat in the house. What I did not expect was the replay to come. It looked like we were going to the next thing, but hey, such is life. The boy got caught eating popcorn.
Listen, I said groundbreaking, not scale breaking. Okay. Hey, DC. I mean, I love DC. He's brilliant. He is. He's just a man. But he does love to eat whilst he's doing commentary. I'm telling you, he has plates of food all stacked up. He has chicken. He has this. He has that. He has popcorn. And I heard the little clip what they're referring to. But we all do it. We all do it. I mean, so at the Apex, there's like, I don't know what they call it, the Happy Dad Lounge. You know, it's where all the VIPs and anyone that pays for a fancier ticket, and you go in there, they got a private bar and they got a ton of food. It's Greek food and the food is delicious. And every time I run for a pee, a couple of times throughout the night, I'll come back with a plate and it's some chicken and some pita bread and stuff. And we have a cough button and we have a talk back button to the producers. So I've got the cough button now and I'm like, oh, and then Brendan Fitzgerald's like, so what do you think, Mike? Oh, and I'm like, oh, shit. Oh. So I can't talk shit about DC doing that because I've done the same thing. But Saturday night, Dom Cruz had helped himself to a plate, right? But on his plate, he put like loads of sauce and like it was like a yogurt dip or whatever.
Okay,
you know, and it was like rice and bits of white sauce all over the place, just smushed all over the plate, and it was just there in front of me, right in my field of vision, and it stunk. And I'm like, Dom, have you finished eating? Because can you put that in the goddamn bin, please? Can you I don't want to stare at that. He's like, and you know, and then Dom's a feisty guy. He's like, I'm not moving it. That's my food. And I'm like, I wanted so bad to just go, fuck off, boom, stick it in his face. No, I do the same thing, though. I do the same thing. So fair play to DC. It's not, you know, the man likes to eat. Fair play to him. What are you going to say?
No, nothing. I was going to ask what the seating arrangement was. Was it you in the middle or Dominic Cruz in the middle? Because it's like at that point, you got to get on Cruz to be like, put that on Fitzgerald's side. Knock that off.
Yeah. No. So the guy that does the interviews is always on the end. So I was on the end. Yeah, so DC will be on the end. Yeah, so Dominic's always in the middle. You know, it's sandwiched in between me and Fitzgerald. I was like,
put it on the play-by-play side.
Yeah. Well, you can't because you got all these you got like a lot of equipment around and cables and all the rest of it. And I've got papers galore. Do you know what I mean? It's a mess. It's a mess when I commentate. There's just shit all over the place. I've got notes on this guy and that guy because I can't remember it all. You know what I mean? There's just too much stuff to remember. And as we know, I've been hitting the head far too many times. We've got a few minutes until I believe Cody Durden joins us. We've got 3 minutes. Early thoughts on Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Because this is a really interesting fight. The reason it's interesting is because both of them have the perfect style to beat the other guy. You know, Sean O'Malley's tall, he's long, he's a precise striker. He's got great power these days as he's finding his rhythm a little more, as he's building more confidence, as he's planting his feet. I mean, it was amazing that Chito Vera saw the final bell, you know, the knockout of Aljamain Sterling, and he's had plenty of other knockouts as well. And he just moves so well, and he's so confident. He's such a star, and he's really embraced all of that, but he still puts the work in. And then on the flip side, you've got a maniac from Georgia. And make no mistake, Merab Dvalishvili is a maniac. I saw a clip of an interview from last year or earlier in the year where somebody asked him about Umar Nurmagomedov fighting for the belt, and he gets up halfway through the interview and walks off, and he's calling him all kinds of names and stuff. Remember, this is a guy that goes head first into a lake of ice, splits all his head open. The man doesn't care. And then on top of that, a ridiculous pace, and more importantly, the wrestling. This is a guy that went out there, out-wrestled Henry Cejudo. So he's got the perfect style to beat Sean O'Malley. And Sean O'Malley's got the perfect style, the perfect build, the perfect movement, agility, footwork to stay away from somebody like that. And I think that's why I really do think this is such a compelling matchup, because it's who can, you know, and it's always this, but who can execute their game plan. O'Malley's is going to be move around, don't let him on the inside, keep him on the end of the straight shots using the beautiful boxing that he has. By the way, Teddy Atlas, of course, Teddy Atlas knows boxing, says that Sean O'Malley is one of the only guys that can make a crossover from MMA to boxing and become a world champion. That's how impressed he is with his boxing.
He also couched it by saying, maybe go with Ryan Garcia. Stay away from Tank Davis for your first boxing match.
Yeah, but, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, whatever. Do you know what I mean? What's your pick on that fight, Harrison? I'm saving mine for Thursday, guys. The anticipation.
Okay, well, glad that I'm jamming this in the 30 seconds we have before Cody.
Yeah, jam it in.
Up. But I it's so tough to pick against Sean O'Malley right now, right? And I get that Merab has the gas tank, and we've never really seen Merab test it, right? And that's the only thing that kind of gives me pause is like I've seen Sean O'Malley face adversity in the cage before, where I've never really seen that from Merab. But they're just, I don't know, man. It feels like there's something about strikers right now. Striking seems to be beating wrestling at a crazy clip. Yeah, and I don't know. Like, there's a lot going into this fight for Merab. Merab, like you said, talking about Umar Nurmagomedov, like, he's already looking down past it, right? You could say the same thing for Sean O'Malley, but, like, you don't usually see that from the challenger already looking ahead to their, like, second, third fights, with the belt. So I think both guys are equally looking past this fight, but I think Sean O'Malley for better reason.
Yeah, and I understand that for obvious reasons, to use that word again. Harrington, get out of here. This conversation will continue at a later date. We are joined by the one, the only, Cody Durden. What's going on, Cody?
Hey, custom made Cody Durden, baby.
Oh, my bad. Do you know what? I forgot it on Saturday night. I said, and then I walked out. I was like, shit, I forgot his nickname. I said, Cody Durden. I'm like, fuck. I hated myself. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good, man. I've kind of had that nickname since I fought 3 times in one night in Colorado at the King of Sparta tournament. I took the fight on 2-day notice and got in the tournament, and I won the whole tournament. And my buddy was like, man, you're custom made. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to take things and run with it. And I ran with it that night. And they announced me custom made Cody Durden, and I won the whole tournament. And I went out there without a corner man, and Justin Gaethje saw me boxing in the first fight. And I came back and I was like, I told you, Justin, I'm going to win this whole dang tournament. And he was like, man, where's your coach? I was like, I don't have one. I flew out here with my parents on 2-day notice. And he was like, well, I'll be your coach. And me and Justin Gaethje won the whole tournament.
Whoa. Hold on a minute. We're here to talk about all the madness that went down Saturday night, but I want to hear about this. So you rock up to a multiple fight in one night kind of tournament with no coaches, just your parents. So how did you even end up doing that? I mean, what's like your background and stuff?
So I started off wrestling in high school. And then, I got into MMA. I went through a bad breakup, and I just hated the world. And so my buddy was fighting, and I was like, man, let me come try that. So I went and tried it out, and, he kicked my butt every day, but I was just obsessed with it, because I was a state champion in high school. And then I had a kid at a young age. I was 20 years old, and I couldn't go to college and wrestle. And I was like, man, I can do this MMA, So I literally worked from like 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. or to 4 p.m. And then I got off work and I'd go train. And I just stuck with it, man. I never left. It was a way to release stress, the anger. Everybody knows that I'm pretty hot headed. So it's like, man, I'm just like you, Bisping.
It certainly does seem like it, because that's why Saturday night you go out. The finish was beautiful. The entire fight, man, you were fighting your ass off. You were just like, we're going to have it. We're going to have a tear up. And it was an amazing fight. You get the finish. I walk in and you are hyped up to the max. You're screaming, you're shouting. You're like, Bisping, I took that shit on 4 days notice. I took it on Tuesday and I was hammered on Monday.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, we're going to talk on the podcast.
Yeah. So, in America, Labor Day was on Monday. So Monday was a holiday. And so Sunday night, me and my wife and a bunch of friends went out, And dude, I laid in bed all day Monday. I was hurting. And I went to sparring Tuesday and I sparred 5 rounds. I did all right. And I got on Twitter. I saw Matt Schnell's opponent pulled out. So I tagged McMaynard, tagged Dana White, said, listen, I'm here to fight. Family, friends, or teammates. I don't care. Let's make it happen. With all due respect, Matt Schnell. So my manager called me. He's like, what just happened? Did you say something? And I was like, yeah, I got on Twitter. And, and he was like, well, they're offering you the fight. And I said, well, can we push it back? And then he said, no, they want it this weekend. I said, all right, well, I'll give it. My wife was like, you already said something now. And I was like, all right, well, let's do this. Give me a new contract and let's do it at 135 and I'll show up and I'll fight. And dude, I mean, honestly, Bisping, I'm training. I'm a professional athlete and I train every day, but there's a difference in fight camp and, not drinking at all. And on Monday, I had huge brownies. My wife made some brownies, so there's a huge difference in being in fight shape and then being in shape. You saw me on Saturday night and I was in shape, but it was nowhere near fight shape. And I felt it after the first round. Honestly, I felt it. But, it's I'm a professional, 11 fights in the UFC, never missed weight. The only time I had to pull out of a fight is when I got armbarred by Jake Hadley. You were there. I was supposed to fight 5 weeks later, but I couldn't fight because my arm was messed up. And so I show up, man. I show up. I give this sport my all. And sometimes I don't know why I do the things I do. I don't know why I fought this past weekend, but I was there and I showed up and I backed up everything I said, So it reminds me of UFC 199.
Let's go. Let's go.
2-week notice, except there wasn't a belt on.
You had to you teed me up before you will start saying, "Oh, Bisping's talking about himself." Cody brought it up. I said this. I said this on the broadcast. Your last fight was against Bruno Silva, and you were having an amazing fight, right? You were in control of that fight, and I forget what happened. He caught you with a shot halfway through the second round, I think, and it changed everything. But you were dominating that fight. And I said, I alluded, maybe that fight left a bad taste in your mouth because, you're controlling a fight. And Bruno Silva's not an easy man to beat for anybody, and you make one mistake, and that's just what a bitch this sport is. Did that kind of play into it, that you wanted to get back in there? And then this opportunity arose and you're like, you know what, screw it, let's do it.
Honestly, the shortcomings of that fight, it kind of put me in a depressive state, where of course I'm not a coward. I'm still going to train. I'm still going to go to practice and stuff. But, where I just wanted to drink a lot, I just wanted to, be sad for a little bit. And that's exactly what I did. And but yeah, man, I was dominating that whole fight and I got caught with an uppercut. And I learned from that fight, man, because everything went right that training camp. 8 weeks, Coconut Creek, Florida, staying in the dorms. I mean, I was eating right, drinking right. I mean, everything was just went perfect. No injuries. And then I went out there and lost. And then you see how I was so confident in that fight, and you see how I went out there and I didn't fight to the best of my abilities last weekend, man. I mean, the uncertainty was in my head, thinking about the drinking, thinking about the brownies, thinking about, I had a staph infection on my arm 2 weeks ago. If you can see it right there. I didn't train for 9 days 2 weeks ago. I was out and I was just depressed, and I had 1 week of training and then it was fight week, so I literally took this fight on like 9 days, 10 days of training. So yeah, it's just crazy how life works, man. It's crazy how life works, man. You can have everything go right and go in your way and then you lose. And then you can have uncertainty. You can have less confidence, because confidence breeds success and success breeds confidence. And when you don't have those two together, because everything's not going your way, then the uncertainty gives you anxiety. It gives you adrenaline. And I had some of that this fight. Going into the Bruno Silva fight was was a perfect situation. No anxiety, no adrenaline. I mean, just me in there having fun. And, you know, I was sharp as a tack until I wasn't. But also I learned from that. If you see, I rocked Bruno Silva and he shot in on me and I was just hungry for that finish. So I rolled the anaconda and I locked it in twice and he got out of it. Well, I just knew that if Matt shot on me, I just knew in that particular moment when I was on Matt, I was like, he's aware of the anaconda. So I faked it. I squeezed it tight for a second, and then I went straight to the neck and locked it in. So I kind of baited him. I knew he was film watching me. I knew he knew that I hit that on Jake Hadley as well. And so, man, it just the fight IQ was there, and I learned from the last fight.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So like you kind of expected him to expect the anaconda and you switched it up to the ninja choke. And by the way, when you got top position, the pressure, you were really driving that shoulder in as well as squeezing like crazy. I mean, I'm not surprised he tapped. But you bring up something really interesting there because you're right. It's like, yeah, we want to have a perfect training camp. We want to, you know, do 8 weeks and work with a nutritionist and do everything you're meant to do, you know. But that can bring a little bit of complacency. When you do it on short notice the way that you did, and you brought up when I fought Rockhold at 199, you know, same thing for me. I was like, I threw my name in the hat. I didn't think I was going to get it. You know, I thought I was just going to get some solid fucking brownie points and maybe get a good matchup or a main event in my next one because Bisping was that guy. He was willing to. Then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm fighting him again. I haven't been training. I was boozing every night and I was in Canada for ages. But because of that, I'm like, well, I can't go 5 rounds. I'm just going to have to swing, you know, and I got the knockout. Yeah.
That's why you saw me, you know, I wasn't in there sticking and moving. I was in there to finish him, you know, and that's why I think that I got I'm better than that. You know, it made me more tense. It made me, you know, off balance with my punches. It like there's a better version of me, you know, but who cares, man? I got it done. I got it done on 4-day notice, man, with my wife in my corner, you know. That's my rock. You know, she was just like, let's get babysitters. Call your mom. I'll call my mom. Wow. Let's get it done. Boom. And then we're on a flight within, you know, hours. And I think that's my 3rd or 4th time doing that in my career. And I'm undefeated on short notice like that, except Chris Gutierrez, 6-day notice. I fought him my debut and I got a draw. So I can't beat that.
That is, had your wife ever been in your corner before?
No, man. I don't.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
No. You can't have that. Keep that down. Keep that down. I get it, bro. I get it. So this is crazy. So you're on a 2-fight losing streak. I hate to say that, but it adds to the pressure and it paints a picture. And you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you and your wife jump on a plane. You fly to Vegas. Your wife corners you. I mean, what like a journey to share with your wife. Because I've been through similar things. There'll come a time when your lady and you will sit down when you're a bit older and you'll be like, man, remember that weekend? Remember what we did?
Yeah, you know, it's one to remember. You know why, Bisping? It's life-changing money, man. I might be something after fighting now. You know, I might have something after fighting now. And some fighters, you know, most fighters, I wouldn't say some, most fighters, they don't have anything after fighting. And that's my whole goal, man. I've always worked hard, you know. I didn't get in the UFC till I was 29 years old. You know what I was doing before that? I had kids. I had mortgage. I had 2 car payments. You know, I had a big boy job, you know. Fighting was just for fun, and fighting is what I wanted to do. But I had responsibilities. So when I got that call and I quit my job for 12 and 12, it was like, what are you doing? You know, people were saying, you were just making $130,000 a year at your job and you quit it, you know, to do this. And I was like, look, man, I can always come back to the box plant, you know, just because I'm a supervisor over 18 people, you know, that's not what I want to do. I want to chase this dream. And dude, I risk it all just like I did this past weekend. And now it's turning out for me. You know what I mean?
That's crazy though, because as you say, 130K a year, you had a really good job. You had a great job. Like I worked minimum wage. You know, I had no choice. That's why I started fighting. But you had it all set. You had a mortgage. You had a family. You had a great job. You essentially had the American dream. But for you, you're like, I need this. This is who I am.
Yeah. And I got that. You know, I'm here today because of my character. You know, I know a lot of the times I get overwhelmed. You know, like you were holding on to the mic in Nashville after I beat Jake Hadley. You were holding on for dear life. Like, we don't know what Durden's going to say, you know, and I think it's got a lot to do with maturity. You know, I get so hype and I've learned to control it now, just like I did Saturday night. You know, I've learned to control the emotions, control the anxiety, and control the excitement, the adrenaline. And I think that comes with time, but this is everything I work for. You know, a lot of it has to do with, you know, like I said, my character and my discipline. When I worked at the box plant for 5 years and I climbed the rankings there, dude, I had 2 years of excellent attendance. Like, I got a bonus 2 years in a row because I never missed a day of work ever. And I was still fighting at the same time. And not only was I fighting, I was winning, you know? So it was like, man, I showed up to work. I showed up to training. And every day my wife had dinner in the stove when I got home at 9:30 at night. And I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. I did that for 9 years. Most fighters just work, try to make it by and stuff. I wasn't doing that. I was like, man, I'm going to do both. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But if it does, it does. And then I got to the call to the UFC on a 7-fight win streak. I was 11-2 and 7-fight finish streak. So
I tell you, Cody, hearing you talk like this and hearing you speak about your wife like that, it almost brings a tear to my eye. It really does, because it reminds me of my kind of journey in some ways. But it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to hear, though, man. It's beautiful to hear how you keep mentioning your wife, because you can't go through something like this unless you have a support system like that. And yeah, you don't have to, and not everybody does. But for me, it's like she was my rock, and it seems like it's the same thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they all crazy though.
Oh yeah. do you do a lot of interviews, Cody? Because you got to do more.
I've gotten better, you know. Like, I'm just me. You know, this is me. This is 100% me. I don't get anxiety. I don't get adrenaline anymore. I don't care what you think of me. My bank account thinks highly of me, and yeah, it's just me.
Right. So you said something there, right? This is the thing, and I everyone calls me a company man and all the rest of it. It's like, I know the UFC. I know how it works. I know the potential that we all have as fighters, right? Mm-hmm. And either you're good enough to make it, or you're not good enough to make it. And if you're not good enough to make it, then tough shit. Go back down and find another job, because this is for the best fighters on the planet. But you're talking like you just got a new contract. I'm assuming you're happy. I don't want numbers or anything like that, but this whole life of being a fighter sounds like it's working out for you pretty well.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Bisping, I want to be the best. You know, I don't know if I'm the best. I can't tell you if I'm the best, but I know I want to be the best. And I put in the work every day. And I try my best, you know, and that's all you can do. That's why, I took this fight. That's why I take all fights. Haven't turned down any fights, you know. Well, I did turn down Bruno Silva at first because we were teammates and we were training together. And then he said yes, and then I said no. And I said, wait a second. He said yeah. I said, oh hell no, we're fighting now.
You're like, you son of a bitch.
You want to come up to me and you want to train with me every day, and you want to be cool with me, and then you want to fight me, you know? Okay, we'll fight, you know? And
how was that after the fight?
It was fun, man. I mean, he won. It was his night. What can I say?
No, but I mean on a personal level, you know, he's like, he ain't coming over the barbecues anymore.
Nah, that. Sorry, Nah, screw that. He's not coming to the barbecue. You're not invited.
Yeah, exactly. So the new contract, are you going to be staying at bantamweight? That's your weight class, right?
No, I played at flyweight. Yeah. I just
short notice.
4-day notice. I can't. I tried. I wasn't in fight shape. I walk around 42, 144, but having the staph infection on my arm and taking antibiotics and having 1 week of training, when I got the call, when I took the fight, I was 151. I was like, oh God. So let's do it at bantamweight. And yeah, I made bantamweight, luckily.
So Sunday night, you go out, you're having a great time. And rightly so. What were you drinking? What's the drink of choice?
I was drinking Jack and Coke.
Let's go. You wake up Monday, you're feeling like shit. You go to the gym on Tuesday. You get the call. You get on Twitter on Tuesday. You get the call on Tuesday. Your manager's like, what the hell? You and your wife jump on a plane Wednesday, we'll call it. You're 151. You make weight. You go and have the fight. You have an absolute goddamn war. Get an amazing submission. Get the win bonus. Get a $50,000 bonus on top of that. Let's go again. What was the celebrations like with you and your wife after? What did you do in Vegas?
Man, I went to the craps table and funny story. I was in the elevator on Wednesday at the Palace Station. I look down and I see a quarter, and the quarter's on heads. I look at my cornerman. I'm like, man, you see this? And he looks down. He's like, yeah. I said, I don't know if I should pick it up or not. And he was like, it's up to you. And I picked the quarter up, and I could not lose anything last weekend, bro. I went to the craps table and I won so much money. and then I went back to the blackjack table on Sunday morning before I left, and I won a lot.
Still
more.
buzzed?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't go to bed till like 4:40 in the morning. Yeah. Me and my cornerman stayed up all night.
Well, and rightly so. And there's a saying in England about what you're talking about there. See a penny, pick it up. For the rest of the day, you'll have good luck. And there it is. See a quarter, you pick that bastard up. Cody, love talking to you. What an amazing performance, man. That it really was. It really was. And I'm a fan for life after that. And I just loved, that's why in the Octagon, I said, we got to get you on the podcast, man. Yeah. I loved your energy. I loved watching your career. Saturday night was phenomenal. I loved learning more about you. And let's do it again soon, man.
Hey, Bisbing. Thank you, man. Hey, I'm glad you like me, man. I didn't know if you like
bro. Me. Come on. We're homies now.
I promise you one thing, dude. I'm maturing as we go, and my post-fight interviews are going to be a lot better.
Well, bring, if you're with me, I like them, the interviewee to bring it. You know what I mean? Give us something. Give us a viral moment. But all jokes aside, speaking of maturing in the sport, it took me a long time. That's why I didn't win the belt till I was 37, because this was still a mess upstairs, but we figure it out at our own times. We go along. Seems like you're doing fantastic things. Technically, it's all there. The boxing's there, the grappling's there, the conditioning, everything else. Don't worry about having a few drinks. That's what makes you who you are as well. So you need that madness in there. Just keep doing what you're doing, brother. You got a great team around you. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Bisbee.
Right on. Congrats to you and your wife. There he is. He's gone. I'm by myself. Harrington, quick, get on the bloody show. He was meant to say goodbye, have a little fond farewell. Another award-winning interview.
Dude, absolutely incredible. Like that, coming home 9 p.m. at night, every night, food on the stove. How does it get any better than that? I mean, it's almost like he's calling when he hits a certain landmarker so she knows.
Yeah, but it's like, exactly. Yeah, he read the book. No, but I'm telling you, when I said it almost brought a tear to me, I did. Like you go through these moments with your wife, and that's your confidant. That's your best friend, and like they know what's going on up there, and what a crazy story. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, and he's probably thinking, shit, if I lose one more, I might get cut. He gets a call. He puts a tweet out, gets a call. Him and his wife fly to Vegas. She's in the corner, gets the victory, gets a bonus, gets the submission. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what a weekend in the Durden household. Unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible. And then add that the craps and blackjack gambling. Sorry, I'm just looking here. I see Cody's wife sat down next to him, and she's just hearing us heap this praise on her. So this is
are they still here?
Household. Yeah, they're hanging out in the background.
Get him back on. Get him back on. Oh, this is so for anyone watching thinking what the hell's going on, like they don't leave in the background. They're still there. They can stay. Hi there. Nice to meet you. I think you guys are muted. Got to unmute it, Cody. Jesus. You're muted.
Hey, how are you? I didn't know you guys see me. I never sat down. He was like, it's fine. It's over. That's why I was going to watch the rest of the show. But wow.
No. It was over. But I'm glad you're on. I'm glad you're. Sorry, pardon me. I'm Michael. What's your name?
Brittany.
Yeah. What did you think when Cody said, hey, come and corner me? Let's fly to Vegas. Let's do this.
Well, I mean, we've done crazier things before. So, I mean, it was a whirlwind, finding a babysitter for my daughter and our dog and stuff. But our family really supports us. They stand behind us. They knew we needed to go. So we're blessed for that. But, I mean, I was just like, well, screw it. We're going.
Yeah.
But we've done this type of thing before. So.
Just not at this level.
Not at this level, yeah.
I'm assuming that you don't have proper combat sports experience.
No, my fight IQ isn't like the best, obviously.
She's a Barbie doll.
I was there for moral support.
Yeah. She's your beautiful wife. But it doesn't matter. You don't want technical advice. You've done all that, Cody. You know what people are going to say. And yeah, that's great to have and all the rest of it. But in those moments where you've rolled the dice, you just want your ride or die by your side. You know what I mean? With my lady in the corner, there'd be no man alive would be beating me. My wife was in the corner.
Positive affirmations. That's what I said. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, well,
all positive.
Yeah, I would never say anything negative or give advice. Like I said, my fight IQ isn't the best, but like I know when he needs to uppercut, when a good knee should be involved, but you can only say so much. I was just there for moral support. So you didn't have to go through the weight cut alone or do anything like that by himself, because that would suck.
She's always there for the weight cut.
I'm always there for the weight cut. And I'm always in the stands, but this is my first time in the corner and probably my last, but it was a cool
Probably, I don't know, maybe. Let me ask you this.
But it was a pretty cool experience, and I was grateful to be there. So yeah.
So he had a successful night. Of course, you got a nice bonus as well, so that's always fantastic. What's going through your mind when he's downstairs? He's at the craps table, and you're like, Jesus, Cody, don't go and blow it all. What are you doing?
Full disclaimer, I went to bed. I'm a grandma.
She had no idea.
By 1 o'clock in the morning, I was like, bye. I'm going up to the room and I'm going to sleep. So what he did after that,
Hey, there ain't no telling what I did.
Yeah, right.
Oh, dear. Right. Listen, I've got some of the guests jumping on shortly. So
but okay.
I'm going to have to say bye. Brittany, it's lovely to meet you, Cody. Amazing. Love it. Congrats again, guys. And this time, get out of here. Harrington, where are you, buddy? That was nice.
That was
You can do it.
Yeah,
you took 3 pushes, but you did it. And you're not muted. That's fantastic. Is that everybody? We've been through all the guests, I do believe. Right. I thought we had one more jumping on. We've already done Belal, Brady, Kayla, Cody. There we go. All right. So, I should have asked him who he's got winning in the main event Saturday night. Brian, you haven't been on the show today. Do we have any questions today, Brian?
We don't have anything worth playing right now.
We don't have indeed. Is there a big story that we need to get to, Harrington? Come on. Is there a big one?
A big one. Let's see here.
Because I got to be honest, none of the MMA stories are doing it for me this week. And I was trying to find some. I mean, Tyreek Hill getting arrested. We don't know any of the details. For anyone that doesn't know, he's an NFL player, American football player. He was arrested. I've seen the footage. He's by the side of the freeway, face down on the canvas. You know, cops are cuffing him up and stuff. Now, either there's dickhead cops, which there is a lot of dickhead cops. You know, racist cops. Of course there is. There's good and bad people. But maybe he was the dickhead in question. Maybe he was aggressive. Maybe he was an asshole. You know, he is a celebrity athlete after all. You know what I'm saying? So until we know more details, there's no point in us sitting here speculating. There's definitely shithead cops, but there's shithead human beings, a lot of them. And I'm not saying it's him. Certainly as you get successful as well, it seems to bring out the shithead gene. It's actually a common phenomenon. It's well known. It's been studied in certain laboratories. So we're not going to go down that one.
Can I just say?
Okay, say it.
Probably the best touchdown celebration of all time. Scores the touchdown on an 80-yarder that probably only Tyreek Hill could have, and then his teammate shows up, puts his arms behind his back, and mock arrests him in the end zone. Absolutely incredible.
What's mock arrest? Like we do that flip?
No. He like put his arms behind his back and acted like he was pantomime, like he was arresting him.
Oh, did he? When was that? When did he do that?
In the game 3 hours later.
Oh, he got arrested on the way to the game.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why it's a story.
Oh, right. Well, it's a story anyway. Right. Well, I don't watch the NFL, bro. I didn't know. Also, he's doing that like, arrest me.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Just to rub it in the cop's face. Oh, that's good. I like that.
That's pretty
funny.
solid.
Speaking of football, we have a 16-year-old LA high school student passing away after taking the tackle. Harrington.
Yeah, it was pretty
No. It's really sad. It's really awful. Nobody wants to hear us getting into all that stuff. Sadly, it's a dangerous sport, and it happens a lot. But you've already brought the vibe down. Go on then. Go on.
I was gonna ask. You let Lucas compete in MMA. You let him compete in jiu-jitsu. Would you let Lucas, if he came to you and said, "Hey, I want to play American football," would you let him play?
Callum used to play football at school. American football, guys. None of that soccer shit. And I actually said to Lucas, I'm like, bro, you get your shoulder pads on, man. No, I did. I said, dude, why don't you try football? Because I want him to try more sports, listen, you can, yes, brain injuries are certainly a thing to take into consideration, but you can't live your life like that. You got to do what makes you happy, and if that's not Lucas, this kid in question, if that's your calling, if that's who you are, if that's what, excites you, that's what you love doing, and you want to be a professional, chase that dream, go for it, it's I can only imagine what the family's going through right now. It's awful. And I hope nothing I say takes away from that, but it's like we've still got to chase our dreams and go after. I mean, fighting's dangerous. I've got one eye. I'm recovering from surgery, but so what? I've got no regrets. Yes, granted, I'm still here. The point I'm saying is like I would still encourage anyone out there, just because something's dangerous, if there's a viable path, go for it. You got to take risks in life. You got to take risks, and he didn't even probably know the risks, which is what makes it extra sad. But I'm not talking about that now. I'm moving on from that. I'm talking about in life. You got to take risks. Like who was talking before? Was it Cody? I don't know.
Cody, when he left the box factory?
Yeah, exactly. When he left the box factory. That's crazy, that. A job paying $130,000 a year.
Probably with benefits.
For sure with benefits. If you're getting $130K a year, for anyone that's not in the US listening to this, the average family, I know what mine is. My health insurance is $4,000 a month. And I'm sure maybe that's, spiked a little bit because of all my injuries and stuff. The premiums go up, but still $4,000 a month. And then you still have to pay every time you go see a doctor, anyway. So with the job, with the benefits, to walk away from that and security and the pension and to go chase his dream, you know what I'm saying? To say, do you know what? This is who I am. I'm going to walk away from this and I'm going to become Cody, custom made, remembered at that time, Durden, right? You got to admire that. And that's why I respect every fighter that walks in there. Yeah, okay, right. Sometimes we can act like dickheads. Sometimes people say things that you don't necessarily agree with, this, that, and the other. But ultimately, you got to have respect. I see so many people, everyone, all these dickheads on Twitter that have no idea what it takes, what's going through people's minds. Somebody said to me on Twitter, what's going through people's minds when they fight. I mean, how hard it is, like the anxiety. Have I done the right thing? Have I done enough training? Should I be even doing this? Should I have walked away from that job when I've got a mortgage and kids, to take those chances? It's unbelievable. Somebody said to me on Twitter the other day, said, what was your hardest fight? I said, they were all hard, even the ones where you win easily. Even when I knocked out Luke for the belt and I hardly got punched, that was still a hard fight because beforehand, you don't know what's going to go on. You're still backstage thinking, shit, why do I do this? And all these assholes that have no idea what that kind of sacrifice takes, that have never trained a day in their life, that have never done anything risky, that have rolled the dice, that have potentially dedicated their life to something that isn't guaranteed to pay off. You can go to school and learn how to become whatever kind of trade or a doctor or a plumber or whatever it is. Odds on, you'll get a job being a doctor. You'll definitely get a job being a plumber because no one wants to be a plumber these days. But you know what I mean? Being a fighter, you got to train your entire ass off for an entire life. And you ain't guaranteed shit. You ain't guaranteed a goddamn penny. You ain't guaranteed anything at the end of it. There's no pension for fighters. You're putting all your eggs into one basket and going on this journey with zero guarantees. And that's why I don't like it when people talk shit, people ridicule, and mock how good they are, why they didn't take chances, and it was the most boring fight. And yes, sometimes some fights are shitty, you know what I mean? But the majority of the time, they're very entertaining, for someone that doesn't know what the they're talking about to criticize. I mean, the mass, the general public, it just gets on my tits. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today. What do you think?
I think this was a great show. That's what I think.
I think Sean Brady was amazing. Cody Durden was incredible. Kayla Harrison, could have talked to her all day as well. We have Paul Felder joining us on Thursday. We have the hilarious Renato Laranja joining us on Thursday. Probably get a couple more guests in the meantime as well.
Oh, don't forget.
If you've got... What?
Don't forget, Mighty Mouse is in the house.
Oh, shit. Whoa. One of the greatest of all time, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Also, geez, thank you. Thank you, Harrington. But if you have a question, send the questions in. BYMpod@gmail.com. See you Thursday.